Hi, oh honey, I'm home. I've got my mint tea, got my water, and I'm ready to attempt the final part of Heart of the Winds. I know there's a couple different endings from this game, so I mean, hopefully we got it right on the first try. But if not, we'll try and get the other endings. And I suppose, I suppose we can try and get all the other endings too? If we did manage to... There's like 3? Well, I thought there were 4, but I'm looking at the achievements and it looks like maybe there's 3? There's a few that I feel like I've done and I haven't gotten the achievement. But that's okay. Wow, it has taken almost a full year to play this game because I am slow as molasses. So thank you for coming on this ride with me. This will probably be the last Heart of the Woods stream, but I might play the spin-off game next week since it seems like there might be a little Halloween-themed story in it. But for now, we already started Chapter 6, the final chapter. And I believe we are on our way to confront Evelyn, or whatever she is actually called. Oh, okay. It's dark in here already. And I did it again. How many times am I gonna, start a new game instead of loading? Okay. So Morgan and Shelladora rescued Tara. Because Ellen is trying to take Tara's body instead. And now we're over to Maddie, who's maybe temporarily, very clean. Okay, here we go. My heart, what was that noise? Hang on. Okay, sorry about that. As soon as I started to read the first line, there was a huge crash. I don't know if you heard it. I guess Mr. Melon was going into the attic. Poorly timed in my state of mind. Hopefully there's no ghosts up there. Okay, let's try this again. I'm gonna take another sip of tea. My heart pounds as Abigail and I arrive in the fairy grove. This place has been the setting of most of my favorite memories here in the forest. I could have never guessed that it would be where everything ends. I can feel the fairies, my subjects, watching from close by. They don't show themselves, but their presences are like tiny little pressure points on my consciousness. They're just as tense as I am. Closing my eyes, I reach out to the forest, asking for its aid. It still hurts badly. It laments the terrible pain that it suffered. Let me know if the audio balance is okay. The game might be a little quiet. I promise that it'll be okay. It's my duty as queen to ensure this. I hold the forest in my heart and promise to rid it of the moonsick one. Abigail and I walk to the water's edge. Nervousness tears at my stomach. Geladora's signal could come at any time. I have to be ready. High above, the moon offers its light to us. The whole lake is dyed in its silver glow, shimmering and refracting and amplifying. Moonlight caresses my face like a lover, warm and invigorating. I indulge in it, letting it sink in through my skin, my roots, my forest. Every little second could be crucial.
How do you feel?
She holds my hand loosely in hers.
Nervous. In a way I've never felt before.
I just realized that hat I have looks like the hat that Abigail is wearing.
Nothing else in my life has ever been this important. There's never been life or death consequences like this. What if I screw up?
I expect to see fear reflected in Abigail's face as well, but when I turn towards her, she looks serene and unbothered.
I have complete faith in you, Madison. The fairies said that not just anyone could be queen, but that you could. They saw something in you too. We're all putting our trust in you. The whole forest is, and our friends too. We wouldn't do that if we didn't believe in you.
I think there was some weird echoing there. I wish I could use a magic spell to boost my confidence. For all the power that I hold right now, it sure feels insignificant. So far, everything has come naturally. Moving through the woods or interacting with its denizens is easy. But to use my magic against another being, that's something else entirely. But I can't let that kind of attitude overwhelm me. I can't be defeated before it even starts. Abigail's right. Everyone is counting on me. I can't let them down.
Thank you.
For what?
For believing in me.
She leans forward and kisses my cheek.
Always.
Always. That word has meant a lot of different things to me lately. Wah! Mikan! Yeah, let me test out the new shout-out thing that I keep forgetting exists. Thank you so much for the raid! Welcome! Oh, so it works, but it doesn't tell me what you were doing. What were you doing? I hope you had a good time. Maru! Isn't it awfully late for you? Welcome! If you're new here, I'm Honey Melon. I'm a melf. That's a melon elf. I'm a translator, and right now we're playing the last chapter of Heart of the Woods, which is a Yuri dark fantasy visual novel. It's really wonderful, and I recommend it if you haven't played it. So if you need to not watch because of spoilers, totally understand. But we're gonna see... I think I'm gonna see if we can get all the endings. I think there are 3 or 4. Oh, building and customizing a Digimon model kit. Very cool. I was about to ask which kit also. Mr. Melon has built a couple. I think he built War Greymon and Dark War Greymon? Anyway, thanks again for the raid. And the tea break. Oh, Beelzemon, very cool. Ugh, Digimon is so good, man. I will be on the lookout for the pics. And maybe the kit. Okay, for now, I'm gonna keep going. But thank you again, and welcome. And also, I'm on a follower goal to try and do an Over the Garden Wall watch along. So if you're new here and you enjoy your time, you know, feel free. Smash that subscribe button. or gently tap that follow button, you know. That's so cool. I still want to do a building stream sometime. I have a couple of kits to build. I have a bear guy and a Hello Kitty Zaku that I need to build. I could actually do that now. I have way more space. I'll have to do that at some point. Okay. Back to story. Always. That word has meant a lot of different things to me lately. My concept of forever keeps shifting and changing. Even now, I'm not entirely sure what it means. I suppose that after tonight, I will.
You know, when we were here before, there were times that I wished it could last forever. Where it was peaceful, and just the two of us. But now, more than anything, I'm ready to go home. I'm ready for us to make new memories. Together.
Maddie's Fairy Queen outfit is so gorgeous. Would it be overly self-indulgent to draw myself in it? I mean, I could draw Maddie fan art and then stick pigtails on it, and it would be the same idea.
Nothing would make me happier.
Oh ho ho. Well, if I've got the Defini endorsement.
When you came into my life, I thought that it would be fleeting, like a nice stream that I might someday look back upon and smile. I didn't dare imagine nor hope for anything more.
I definitely want to do fan art when I'm done with this.
But now? Well, perhaps you've made an optimist out of me after all.
Oh. I kiss her forehead, and then her nose, and then her lips.
I love you. More than anything.
I love you too. More than anything.
Together, we face forward. And that's when I feel it. A cold flash of foreign fear. It stabs through my head in the idyllic scenery. I recognize the origin immediately. Philodora's panicked signal. I step away from Abigail, clearing a space. I force myself to breathe evenly as I reach within myself mentally, searching for the magic. There's a time for... I call upon the power within me. Unlike before, when it blossomed and flourished at my request, now it lies dormant and afraid. I understand. I'm afraid too. But there's no time to be afraid. Using my authority as Fairy Queen, I coax the magic forth. The church's presence aches like an infection, and I promise the forest that I'll help heal it. The magic ripples throughout the woods. It sets upon the church, finding Evelyn easily. I can't see her in my mind's eye, but I can feel her. Feel her hatred and scorn and fear. So I'm not the only one who's afraid then. That's more reassuring than anything else. If she detects the magic that's coming for her, then I can't tell. At my will, the tendrils of magic wrap around her like vines. Then I stick my hand out, my physical, actual hand, and I pull. Yoink! The result is immediate. Just above the surface of the lake, a ripple disrupts the air as a massive rift opens up. Within seconds, Evelyn falls forward through it, collapsing in a heap to the shore. It's wrong, though. She's still in her regular body. It's not just her vulnerable soul like it should be. I take a fearful step back. Should have dunked her in the lake. Why did Gilladora send the signal early? My blood runs cold. What if something happened to her and Morgan? What if she wasn't too early? What if I was too late? I try to rally my thoughts and concentrate on what to do. She quickly picks herself up, wild eyes casting back and forth. Her appearance is monstrous. It finally fits her personality. Her gaze falls on me, and her lips curl in hatred or disgust.
So...
Sorry.
It's you.
Oh yeah, the voice. We still don't like that.
I see that even death didn't want you. And now here you are, stinking of snow and pine, stinking of them. You wear their clothes, you bear their crown, but you are not one of them.
She lumbers forward, her steps seeming pained. She's either dazed from being pulled here or from the effects of her own spell. But I can't count on that to last.
You're right. I'm not. Just like you'll never be a human.
I need to buy myself time while I try to think.
Human? Ah, is that what you think I want? I will be more than human.
She's got a great evil cackle, I gotta give her that. A gust of wind stirs up, likely at her calling. The trees shake, and I plant my feet firmly to keep from losing my balance. I feel the barriers in my mind freeze and break away. She's gone. As the world spins around me, the moon shines down on the lake. I search for her presence with my mind, but I can't find her, like a fish that slipped off the line. I need to calm down. My heart races as my head begins to ache and throb.
You're so fragile, so easily damaged, so easily broken.
The biting wind intensifies, threatening to sweep my crown away. Abigail shields herself with one arm. Evelyn, however, remains unaffected.
What's wrong, little child? Why not make this easy on yourself? I can make it painless for you this time.
Reality and illusion blur and blend, and the fabrics of my vision tear. Am I on a bad tap already? I can't tell. I mean, don't tell me, but... She takes another step forward in my mind, shattering what little focus I had. She's almost close enough that if she lunged forward, she could grab me by the throat. Instead, Evelyn scratches at her own neck, her nails drawing blood, but she doesn't seem to notice. High in the sky, the moon watches over us, indifferent. I can feel its light sustaining me, the same as it bolsters her. She turns to look up at it, shivering.
Do you know why you were the first to go? Because you were the easiest. All alone, off in the woods. Tragic accidents happen all the time out there. Really, it's my daughter you have to blame for all this. It's a shame you won't get another chance.
I try to find her again with the magic, but I can't. It's like she isn't even there. Where her consciousness should exist, there's nothing but a gaping hole. A void that feels familiar somehow. Her eyes glow red as she faces me again.
Looking for me.
Yeah. My consciousness is immediately assaulted. My head pounds as I feel Evelyn enter it like an intrusive thought. With every push and pull, she rips at my soul. My magic quakes under her power, flickering and fearful. I try to reach out and grab it, pull my own consciousness and strength into me, but every time I get close, it's yanked away. Unrelenting, overwhelming. Die, die, die! It echoes and reverberates in my skull. I choke, momentarily forgetting how to breathe. Every single thought, every single idea, snatched and destroyed. I can't even see anymore.
I knew it! Your gifts are wasted on you. Queenship is wasted on you. What good is power if you don't know how to use it? All of you are the same.
A searing pain in my head forces me to my knees.
Your friends couldn't save you then, just as you can't save them now.
An unseen force shoves my head upwards, making me look at Evelyn. A peculiar ringing blocks out all other sound, except for her words. I'm deaf to the wind, to the forest, to Abigail.
See what you've done, and despair.
She gestures imperiously towards the empty space between us. Just like the portal I used to bring her here, another hole in space rends itself open. Through it, I can see a glimpse of the murky stained glass window of the church. Uh-oh. Then it upends, unceremoniously spilling out my friends. Whoa! Or at least their bodies. Nausea hits me at the sight. Tara's there, her body limp and broken, arms and legs splayed at an obscene angle. Blood trickles from her mouth, beneath her open, sightless eyes. Morgan is also there, in a heap, though her body isn't as mangled as Tara's. A grisly wound stretches from her ears, across her face and down her neck. Blood stains the sand beneath her. Sand? Maybe this is an illusion? Am I caught in a jutsu? Even Gilladora lies there motionless. Though her back is turned to me, a small puddle of water forms beneath her, spreading as she seems to melt. I scream. I want to run towards them or clutch at my heart, but I'm pinned in place. How? What went wrong? Was this why the signal came too early? I shouldn't have left them alone. I should have gone with them. This is my fault, isn't it? Evelyn's attack on my mind ceases in order to let me truly comprehend the horror before me. As much as I fight it, my heart gives way to what Evelyn asked of me. I despair. Okay. Okay. Our feet touch solid ground, and Tara immediately loses her balance. I grab her shoulder to keep her from falling. Philodora pants heavily, the magic having taken a heavy toll on her. Maddie, Abigail, and Evelyn are on the far side of the lake. Only Abigail seems to notice us. Even from a distance, the terror on her face is clear.
Come on, they need our help.
Tara takes one step forward and then falls to the ground, clutching her ankle.
Shit.
Just then, Maddie screams, in pain or in horror. A sick feeling in my stomach. All three of us turn to look, although there's nothing new to be seen. I know from experience that doesn't mean she isn't in pain. Abigail is tugging on her arm, but Maddie doesn't react at all. She must be beyond even feeling it. And just behind Evelyn, a familiar-looking ball of sinister light is forming, sparkling in the moonlight. Its tendrils jolt and jag with a familiar hunger. Maddie doesn't even know. Evelyn turns back and looks at us, a sadistic grin on her face. The tendrils of magic shift, and a feeling of impending doom fills my lungs. I look back at Tara, who scowls at her foot as she tries to move. There's no way she'll be able to. I don't have long to act. Don't give me a choice, please. If I run for Evelyn, she might hurt Tara before I can get there. If I don't, there's no telling if Maddie will be able to stop her. Of course, it might already be too late to help her anyway. Tara's gritting her teeth through the pain. If I leave her on her own, she'll be helpless. I can't let that happen. Maybe that was already decided by the choice I made earlier? I face towards Evelyn again. I have to stop her somehow. That's all that matters, even if The realization that it might cost me my life rushes through me. All along, I've been aware of that as a vague possibility. I'd always known it might come to that. The future with Tara I've been pushing at the forefront of my mind. The pain I've been pushing aside to move forward. The memories and emotions of the past overflow and hit me all at once. All the things I thought I could forget. But now in this moment, faced with that decision, I freeze. My whole body seizes up and I fall to the ground.
No. No. No.
Not here. Not now. I can't afford to be paralyzed like this right now. But the cracks of my psyche freeze over and hold, and the curse within me grips my every muscle. Years of feeling nothing, weeks of pushing forward, and still, fear triumphs. Is this really how it will end? Am I really not strong enough to do anything? Something soft brushes against my arm, and I look over to see Gelidora hurrying toward the lake. Not the cat! She turns back towards me, meeting my eyes.
Take care of Tara.
What do you mean? What? Eh? Why wasn't that voice?
Goodbye, Morgan. And thank you.
No. With that, she dashes off into the lake, quickly disappearing. I don't even get the chance to yell her name. I'm able to stand, knowing now that whatever happens is out of my hands. If I'm going to die, at least the curse gives me the courtesy of letting me face it on my feet. Just then, Evelyn's ball of magic crackles noisily, and I fling myself in front of Tara, shielding her with my outstretched arms. She cries out in fear, and I brace myself for the end. But it never comes. A warmth spreads through the clearing instead. A bright light blinds me, and I hear Evelyn vocalize something between a gasp and a snarl. I turn, just in time to see the silhouette of a beautiful woman leap from the lake. Though I can't see her face, I just know that it's Gelidora, the real fairy queen. For a brief moment, she hangs there, suspended and framed by moonlight. She waves her hand in a slow, elegant gesture like a conductor directing an orchestra. Light glitters at her fingertips. Then she hurls the light towards Evelyn. Two things happen simultaneously. The shards of light shred through Evelyn's form, leaving glistening, luminous trails where they cut her. She remains on the shore, frozen in a position of pain, as her whole body shakes and shudders like a glitched image on a TV screen. Then she starts to melt. Starting from her feet and working quickly up her body, she collapses inward on herself, leaving behind nothing but a thick black goo that stains the sand. Oh, the sand like the shore of the lake, duh. At the same time, Gelidora limply crashes back to the water, her life force spent. Her fragile form dissipates into starlight that's scattered across the rippling surface. Her brief return as a queen already over. Everything is quiet.
Is it over? Is she gone?
I think so.
Melting away into sludge is a fitting and hopefully permanent end. Tara and I separate, and she leans on me for support. And then, we start to hear a buzzing sound. It comes from all around us, spreading through the trees. Fairies burst forth from their hiding spot, swooping over our heads and across the lake. They don't pay any attention to Tara and I, nor to Gelidora's sacrifice. Instead, they flock straight to Maddie and Abigail, forming a thick cloud over their heads. I'm sorry, Gelidora. I push thoughts about her in the back for now. I help Tara over to where our friends are, as quickly as we can manage. Maddie looks distraught, while Abigail tries in vain to comfort her. As we get closer, I'm able to hear just what it is the fairies are saying.
Our queen! Our queen!
They chant the phrase over and over. I feel nauseous as I realize the consequences of what's happened. Without Gelidora, there's no fairy queen to take Maddie's place. By her own agreement, she has to stay here. Forever.
It wasn't supposed to be like this. Just Tara and me, without Maddie and Abigail. And it's my fault. Something changed about the fairies' magic the instant Gelidora and Evelyn died. Maddie and Abigail both faded away from sight. We didn't even get to say goodbye. It's not like they're actually dead, you know? So we don't really have to worry about them. Tara's been saying stuff like this since we got on the train. Since before then, in fact. Her wording makes it sound like she's trying to reassure me, but I know it's more for her own sake. Not that I mind. I'm willing to indulge anything that makes it easier for her. That's true. And with Maddie's magic, I'm sure they'll never be bored or lonely. Yeah, for sure. Plus, I'm sure Mads can, like, tell her all about film theory, recite the script to her favorite movies a bazillion times. Stuff like that. That nerd. She's in tears before the sentence ends, and I pull her into a tight, guilty hug. The rumbling of the train makes it uncomfortable, its motion slamming her against my chin repeatedly, but I don't mind. As far as I'm concerned, I exist right now just to make things better for her. As much as I can. No matter how inadequate. We haven't talked about what we'll do when we get back. The prospect of a future together is equal parts bright and ominous. I know we'll get through it, together. But I also know how hard it will be. Still, we've been through worse. Much worse.
I was just thinking that it might have been nice if Tara's lines were, read by Tara.
Everything I own is here in this train car. The belongings
or at least
that I
in
wanted
a
to take with me fit in
in a
suitcase.
killer Tara impression.
I didn't say goodbye to anyone. I'm sure the village will be lost for a while without Evelyn, as they recover from her influence. But just like the rest of us, they'll be better off in the long run. We left most of Maddie's things behind, just in case she comes back for them, Tara explained. We also left 2 train tickets on the table in the cabin. Tara had printed 4 before we had even reunited with them, just in case. For so many years, I dreamed of a train ride like this. A one-way trip out of Eisenfeld and towards a new life. There are still hours to go before we get to the city, and then hours of waiting for our flight, and then hours to be spent in the sky. I wish I could sleep through them all. Neither Tara nor I got any rest last night, even though we tried. We just spent the whole time tossing and turning. In my mind's eye, I kept replaying those final moments, as I hesitated, and as Jayladora sacrificed herself. It was only due to the rippling moonlight that she was able to stop Evelyn, to save Tara and I. If I had done something differently, then I'm sure it wouldn't have ended that way. Maddie and Abigail could be here on the train with us, Jayladora back with the fairies. Except this is real life. My choices brought us to this point, and now we have to live with them. All I can do now is make the best of what we have left. Even if it takes years, I know that we can heal. Together. I'm looking forward to that day. I'll become the kind of person that Tara deserves.
Seems like probably not the worst ending, but clearly not the best ending. Yeah. Well, obviously we have to try for the good one. Or maybe I should try for the worst one first? Iso. Adirosa. Is there maybe a post-credits scene? Where they get recruited to the Avengers? I mean, that's still a I can't say good ending, but you know. Especially Dale Cooper the cat. I was wondering if there's a Japanese version of this. Looked like credits for a Chinese translation, but... Ah, so this is in Renpai, yappari. Oh, Cooper. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I was gonna say, if it had gotten any heavier with Jayladora, I would be, like, crying. Even though, obviously, I'm upset if anything happens to the characters. I'm so, like, so sensitive about about cats. Okay. It takes a week or two before Tara is able to go into Maddie's room. She only stays in there for a few minutes before the tears start flowing. I'm not saying I'm not gonna cry, I'm just saying I would be alright. After 3 weeks, she calls Maddie's family. I hold her hand while she listens to them sob. We don't speak to her again after that. Oof. It takes 2 months for her to be ready to start clearing out Maddie's room. BT keeps scratching at the door, waiting for Maddie to open it and let him in. It takes a long time for her to make her video about what happened. She keeps it vague. She moves on to something new. We get our own place. The old house had too many bad memories. We give our new home a life of its own. We heal. We grow. Oh. Oop. I wait a long time before I propose. About 5 years after we first met, I got down on one knee and asked her to spend the rest of her life with me. She freezes for a moment. I start to worry. Then the tears start flowing and she puts on that big goofy grin. I can still see the rest, which makes me realize that this is a little bit cut off here. It's just like coming out of the box. Out of the box. Obviously. I wasn't planning on spending it with anyone else. Her parents are thrilled. To my surprise, they love me. Now I get to call someone Mom without feeling sick to my stomach. Mom helps me pick out a suit. Dad helps me pick a venue. It all goes smoothly. We get married in the spring. She can't decide if she wants to wear a dress or a suit and ends up wearing both. A suit jacket over a gown. I love it. She writes her own vows and everybody laughs. In the front row, there are 2 empty seats. It was her idea. Bleh. I want to see that, though. You never know. They might still show up. It'd be mad awkward if I didn't have a place for them. Please forgive my terror impression. They don't show up. But somehow, I get the feeling that they know. Wherever they are, I bet they're happy for us. I hope the 2 of them are as happy as Tara and I are. I kiss Tara on the altar. On the altar? Sorry. It feels like I'm kissing her for the first time. It's the most wonderful moment of my life. And as I kiss her, I silently thank Maddie and Abigail. Philodora, too. This wouldn't have been possible without them. That night, I carry Tara across the threshold. She wants it to be as cliché as possible. I have to admit, I like it. It's sweet. It's happy. It's healing. We're complete. And we will be for the rest of our lives. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you, Abigail. Goodbye. Well, thanks for coming. No. Yeah. No, I like that it's not just like, and then everyone got murdered. It's, you know, it's like, wow, you know, you could have done better, but here's what happened. Oh, okay. I might actually make another cup of tea real quick, and then we'll try and get the other endings. I have to kind of figure out how to do that exactly. I know I saved it. All of the decision points. I probably just have to go back to the first one, and I know there's some kind of skip option, because I don't know how much, if the like choices just change the ending, or if they change other, excuse me, things leading up to the ending. Man, I gotta say again, I am not dyslexic, but I love this this open dyslexic font. It is like a lot easier to read for my ADHD. Oh, okay. Because I probably want to get the other bad ending first, and then we'll get the true ending. But first I'll get tea. Thank you. Sorry, I will be right back. Can't tell if you can hear the music stuff. I'll just click on the music. Okay, tanaima. Oh, I scroll up. Okay, so. You know, I had a feeling that, that not letting Terra mourn was not the right choice. But I think, not to blame chat, I'm pretty sure someone in chat said to do that one. But I also, you know, I wanted to get all the endings anyway, so... Let's see. Yeah, I guess we'll do the other bad ending first. So... Go back to the first choice. Comfort Terra and pick theirs. Okay, let's see. And I'm... Oh gosh, when was I? Let me see. The first choice was pretty far into the game. Chapter 3? Might be this one? April. Ugh, I gotta try to either... Here we are. I can either play games faster or play shorter games. This isn't even that long of a game. It just took me a while. Let her mourn. I have to keep her strong. I think I picked the second one the first time. So I think I let her mourn here. So if I'm remembering right about Renpai, if I use the skip feature, it'll skip to any new dialogue, right? Right? I don't remember. Well, I'm sure this immediate dialogue is different. It's been a while anyway, so we'll keep going until I clearly remember something. So we are back to when Maddie is evidently dead. And there, okay. Let's see. And Tara is realizing that, and not what we had hoped for. Serena. Oh, I see. Okay, so awesome. Thank you so much. Sorry to make you like play tech support. Okay. Everything that's happened has been my fault. There's probably nothing I could say that would make up for that. Maybe I shouldn't say anything. Just hold her like this. Physical comfort is all I'm good at, after all. Oh, that was a good, It's not a callback, that's a... Is that a foreshadowing? Maybe? Allusion to the thing we find out about later. I'll take care of her. It's the least I can do. I lower her down to the ground slowly. I don't even feel the snow on me.
Take your time. Getting it out will help.
This is all such bullshit. Why would she take meds? She wasn't causing any trouble.
Turned off. Okay, they were just being rude. She grabs handfuls of my sweater where her hands rest against me. I don't stop her.
I could have helped her. I could have talked this out with her, but I didn't. And because of that,
I squeeze her tighter. There's nothing else I can do. I give up on thinking of something to say. I'm better at saying nothing anyway.
I should have let her stay home. I should have listened to her when we were out here.
She pulls away from me and sits down in the snow. Then she smiles. It's a bitter, broken smile. The kind of smile you can only form when you don't know what else to do. Oh, baby.
I just keep ruining things, huh?
Tara, you aren't the reason the two of you came here. I was. This is on me.
She has to know I'm right, deep down. I don't want her to hate me, but I'd much rather she hate me than hate herself. So I hold Tara. I hold her with as much tenderness as I can, and she breaks into heaving sobs on my shoulder. I feel her body rocking with loss and pain, and her hot tears fall and freeze on the ground below us. I let her feel the extent of her grief. It's a pain I can never understand. The pain of losing someone important to you. Meeting Tara, I've only just started to know what that bond is like. But it can't compare to what she has with Maddie. Tara's wailing grows muffled as she buries her face in my chest and hugs me tightly. Hesitantly, I stroke her hair in return. Time passes. Eventually, Tara grows quiet. She sniffles and shakes in my arms, but relaxes with each breath. I never found any words to say. We sit there together until finally Tara lifts herself from me. Excuse me, her face red and puffy. She gives me a weak smile and wipes her face. I start to pack up the camera as she cleans herself up. Seems like this might have helped after all. I should probably just leave it be and head back with her. But one thought keeps burning in my head. I have to tell her.
Tara. I'm going to make sure you get Maddie back, no matter what.
She stares at me like I just spoke to her in another language. Then she finally gives me a smile that doesn't have an ounce of sorrow in it.
I know. If anyone can, it's you.
I'm not sure what she means by that. I hope she's not thinking of the same thing I am. She probably thinks I'm just talking big, like some brave knight about to go kill a dragon. I wish that was true. Hey, Milo. But I'm thinking about the one way I know I can save her. The way that only I can. Okay. And that's to give Evelyn what she wants. Me. Oh no! Baby girl! We don't talk on the ride back. Tara doesn't even fidget. I figured the wet pants would make sitting still even harder for her than it already is. But she's completely still. It isn't until we stop in the village that she speaks.
I hope you don't think I'm mad at you for bringing us out here.
You aren't?
Nah, I know you just wanted to make something good happen for all of us. Things just didn't work out that way is all.
Yeah. We just finished, one of the less than good endings, so we're trying to get the other bad ending, and then we'll get the good ending.
Besides,
Her voice trails off into mumbles. After a moment, she takes a deep breath and restarts. I can't remember what's the same and what's not. After this, we'll use the skip function.
Coming here meant I got to meet you. I'm sure as hell not complaining about that.
I'm sure you've met plenty of fans in person.
Yeah, but you're not just a fan. Not to me. You're a lot more than that.
What are you saying?
She suddenly looks away from me. I think she's trying to hide the fact that she's blushing. Poorly.
I don't know, just I haven't ever really met anyone like you before is all.
For a moment, strange thoughts fill my head. I want her to say more than that. I don't know what I want it to be, I just want more. But I know better than to ask her that.
If it helps, I haven't met anyone like you before either.
Well, I could have told you that one. I am one of a kind, you know.
No argument there.
I'm having a hard time looking at her. I don't know why. This is a new feeling. I push it away and reach for the carriage door instead. There's a weird hair in the carriage now.
Let's get inside. We still gotta figure out how much of your stuff we can fit in my closet.
I mean, I could just leave some of my clothes on the floor. That's what I do at home.
Tara,
Not happening. I like being able to see my floor.
you live like this?
Can't blame a girl for trying.
I can't help laughing. She laughs too. She's going to be okay. I know she will. And I'm going to make sure she stays that way. Okay, this is probably still the same. Wow, wow, wow! Thank you for the head pat. I'm sorry. They're getting the zoomies. Yeah, that always cracks me up for some reason. I feel like Benny Hill should be playing. Is this new or is it just that the chapter changed? Let's read a scene, otherwise I'm just gonna completely lose track of what's happening. Another morning. Nothing's changed. I missed who we are. Morning again, right? Oop. No progress. No hope. The only difference this morning is that Tara's still asleep. It's the first time I've woken up before her since we started sleeping together. I'm glad she's still sleeping. I can tell she needs it. Yes, it's me. Honey of the Woods. Maddie Melon. I slip out of bed and dress silently. My next move should be heading to the shop. Sticking to routine is what's kept Evelyn off our backs. For now. The instant I start thinking of Evelyn again, I'm hit by a powerful urge to climb back into bed and wrap my arms around Tara. Hold her for a little longer. I don't. She needs her rest, and there's still some time before she leaves. Somehow, thinking about that makes me feel even worse. I try to push the thoughts away, but her voice does that for me.
Oh shit, what time is it?
We've read this, right? Oh yeah, this. Okay. Violence. We are from Morgan's point of view. I guess Orange Girl. Yeah. There's a lot to unpack, but her mom is evil and not really her mom. And has been taking over the bodies of people in their family for several generations, it seems. And in this scene, look, it's like Elvish here. Evelyn forces Morgan to burn down one of the, like, sacred trees and, fuck up the forest. And the skip stopped, so this must be a new scene because we made a different choice this time. Yeah, no problem. It wasn't a very good explanation, but I tried. Quietly, slowly, one thought begins to take form. Right. Choices. I know she'll pay for this. There's nothing we can do seems like, you know, the best way to not get a good ending. The hopelessness Tara helped push away comes flooding back. We've been deluding ourselves. Nothing we've done is going to have the slightest impact on her. We're just delaying the inevitable. She's not going to stop until she gets what she wants. Until she gets me. So she's been raising Morgan as, like, her next body, basically. Or sacrifice, rather. And I think, Abby, the pink-haired ghost girl, was also one of her previous sacrifices. All I can do is make sure Tara doesn't end up the same way I'm going to. I can't save myself. Maybe I can still save her. I open the front door, and its weight drags me forward as I stumble inside. I prop myself up on the knob, trying to catch my breath. I can't. Tara must have heard the door, because her footsteps come booming down the stairs. She doesn't fall. I'm surprised, given that the last 5 times she ended up slamming into the wall. I keep telling her to be careful. This time I'm glad she isn't. Closing the door behind me, I finally manage to enter the kitchen as she rounds the corner.
Holy shit, you're okay. I thought when you didn't come home,
I'm okay. Don't worry. It wasn't anything.
I can't seem to finish my sentence. My head is swimming. I stumble again, ready to collapse to the floor.
Let's go upstairs. You need some rest. Come on.
Her voice is warm, quiet, and reassuring. I can't believe it belongs to the same girl that spends her days yelling about the Loch Ness Monster. But it's what I need right now.
Thank you, Tara.
Hey, that's what I'm here for. We're the dream team, remember?
She flashes me a now very familiar, wide-mouthed, goofy grin. I can tell she's trying to distract me from the fear and worry I can see in her eyes. She's never been hard to read, but by now she's an open book. But at least she's trying. That counts.
Come on, let's get up there.
Tara holds my arm to steady me as we go up the stairs. I hate being like this. I'm not supposed to be weak. I can't be weak. I ignore the shaking in my legs and force myself to stand on my own. Even if I'm just walking to the bed to sit down, it helps.
You just sit here for a minute and relax, okay? I'll go make some coffee or something.
I thought you didn't even know how to make coffee.
That's where the or something comes in.
It takes me a second to realize that I'm laughing. Everything's gone wrong, but I'm laughing. Every time I start to lose hope, she makes me laugh. She's smiling again. It's genuine this time.
I guess I'll take the risk. Thank you, Tara.
I'm not good with words. I want to kiss her, to thank her genuinely. It's not the right time. I kiss her cheek instead. Tara hesitates, staring at Morgan blankly, her eyebrows knit together into a look of worry. She doesn't say anything, just turns and heads for the kitchen. Maybe that was a mistake, but I don't think it was. Is this different? I don't remember. A whirlpool of panic hits my brain the instant she leaves. It threatens to overcome me, crashing over my thoughts and pulling me deeper into its abyss. My breathing runs ragged. I close my eyes, counting to 100 as I've done so many times before. But it's not enough. The forest, Maddie, Evelyn, Tara. I try to raise my head above the water. I can't do this. After everything, with Maddie, with Evelyn, Tara shouldn't have to deal with my problems too. And neither of us has time to deal with all the feelings I know we're not talking about. If I'm a bigger part of the picture than Maddie, I know what that's going to lead to. I'll hold it in. I'll be fine. I shake my head. It's so much harder to lie to myself than it used to be. I think that was different. Those heavy footsteps save me from the mess in my head. Tara slips back into the room with 2 mugs of what I think is supposed to be coffee. The smell of coffee always makes me feel calm, but right now, it just makes me feel sick.
Here we go. If
Probably
the
more
caffeine
to
in this
do with,
doesn't wake you up, then at least the taste will.
As long as it doesn't kill me.
No promises.
I bring the mug to my lips and taste it carefully. It's not bad, or I'm just desperate. Either way, I keep drinking it.
So, what happened out there? Did she hurt you?
Not really. She just went on about how I can't do anything to her. It wasn't anything serious.
Bullshit.
Think. I want to tell her not to worry, but I can't. Evelyn's laughter rattles around in my head the second I open my mouth. I place the already empty mug of coffee on my desk. I hear Tara's sharp intake of breath behind me and I spin around, my heart racing. Fear and worry reflect in her eyes as her gaze flits between my face and my hand. I look down at my own palm, still bleeding gently. It throbs now that I'm looking at it. With everything that happened, I forgot about it. Tara reaches forward and holds my hand between her own, applying a gentle pressure to it. Her concern is more than I can handle. I can't lie to her.
I'm sorry, Tara. We've already got so much to worry about. I didn't want to give you more.
I want to look out for you, Morgan. I can take it.
The two of us sit silently for what feels like an eternity. Every sentence I try to form falls apart the moment I open my mouth. The screaming echoes in my head. But eventually I do it.
And then I couldn't stop. I was killing it.
Tara rubs my hands, staying quiet as I continue talking. I feel my eyes stinging the more I speak, but I have to hold it together.
It was burning. It was burning and dying. It was like the entire forest felt it. I couldn't stop the magic no matter what I did. And after everything was said and done, Evelyn, she...
I feel a tightness in my chest. I've never spoken like this before to anyone, not even to Geladora.
She told me my real mother was just like me.
I can't bring myself to continue. Voicing the implications out loud would make them more real than they already are. My real mother is gone, and whatever similarities she bore mean nothing now. All that matters is that she lost.
Shit, Morgan,
Stinging's getting worse.
She probably doesn't know how much we know. If she's trying to scare you, that means she's really scared of us. Her pulling weird shit in the forest isn't gonna change anything.
The trees were screaming, Tara, like they could feel it. That's not just posturing.
Excuse me.
That's declaring victory. Now that we know what she's capable of, we know we don't stand a chance. And if she already killed Matt...
Stop. Don't say it. Mads isn't gone. And we're not going anywhere either.
I know you want to fix this, but we can't. We can't fight something like that. I've been trying since I was a kid, and it's all been a waste of time. I was stupid to think I could, and wrong to think you could help me do it.
Hey, come on. That's not true. We'll figure something out.
She sits down next to me. I don't react.
My mom learned things. My real mom. Her mom did too, and her grandmother and her great-grandmother. Did that save any of them? Everything I've looked over, everything the two of us have studied, and I've only learned one thing for sure. I know I'm going to die the same way they did.
All it takes is a sob. One tiny little choked sob. And I let go. Tears flow down my face for the first time in years. Each one burns my skin like a tiny, painful reminder of how pathetic I'm being. I hate crying. It feels like giving up. But now I'm sobbing like I'm some weak little kid. I can feel my shoulders shake as I gasp for air.
We can't.
I desperately try to wipe the tears away, even though I know it's pointless. They just keep coming. I squeeze my eyes shut instead in hopes that it'll somehow force the tears back in. And then, once again, I feel Tara's arms around me. She squeezes me so hard that I start thinking she's trying to wring the tears out of me.
Let it out. You know I've got you.
I let it out. I throw my arms around her and rest my head against her shoulder. All I can do is hope that the fabric muffles my sobs. She rubs my back slowly and presses her lips to my forehead. I already feel like I'm burning inside, but her warmth is different, soothing. My whole body shakes against Tara. She doesn't flinch. She doesn't say anything. She just holds me close. This isn't the girl I spent years watching yell about monsters on the internet. This isn't even the girl that stepped off the train a few weeks ago. Something about being here changed her. As I cling to her for dear life, I realize that it changed me too. I can feel my tears start to slow when that thought crosses my mind. I'm finally able to catch my breath. Tara's grip on me loosens as I stop shaking. When she takes her lips off my forehead, I have to fight the urge to pull her back down. I pull away and sit up instead. It's nice to be able to wipe my cheeks and have them actually stay dry. Looking at her now, I can see that Tara's face is stained with tears too. It's my fault.
I'm sorry.
Hey, it's cool. I don't think anyone on Earth or anywhere else would say you don't deserve a minute to get it all out there.
I love how she has to throw in or anywhere else.
If you say so.
For what it's worth, I think you stand a way better chance than any of the people that came before you. After all, you've got one thing they don't.
What's that?
She breaks into another massive grin that the tear streaks on her face can't hope to tarnish. I know what she's going to say before she even brings out the finger guns.
Me, obviously.
I start to chuckle before bursting into laughter. Real, full laughter. Every now and then a sob slips in. I don't mind as much anymore. As always, she knew how to make me feel better.
My incredibly humble savior.
Hey, if I can't stay on brand even under the threat of death, I don't deserve to be popular.
I love that about you.
I clamp my mouth shut the instant the words leave it. I don't know where that came from. Tara's expression makes it clear she doesn't either.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
We look away from each other. I do my best to focus on anything in the room that'll hold my attention.
Hey, can I say something?
When I look back up at her, I can see that her entire face is bright red.
As much as I love to joke, I'm 100% serious about you having something that they didn't have. More than one thing, actually.
What are you talking about?
I mean, you're really brave. Like, the bravest person I've ever met. You're smart, too. A hell of a lot smarter than I am. You're...
She scrunches up her face in that cute way she always does when she's trying to figure out what to say next. Which means I've seen a lot of it.
You're all the things that I act like I am. You're smart, you're brave, you're strong. You're not afraid to fight back against bullshit. You're beautiful, you're capable. You've been through a ton of bad shit all your life, and you're still fighting, even against things nobody else out there believes. I spend nearly every day of my life thinking about the strangest things in the world, and I still couldn't have imagined someone like you really existing.
If I hadn't watched her ramble for years, then I'm sure that by now she'd be incomprehensible. But I can hear every word. I can feel my heart beating faster with each one.
And you're just really awesome and fun to be around, and being here with you is one of the best things that's ever happened to me, and I don't want this to end, and I'm...
That's really impressive.
You're in love with me.
I'm in love with you!
Wait, did I just... And she... We both sit in stunned silence. I try to tell myself that I don't know where that came from. Another lie. Yeah, that seems like probably an all-day endeavor. I've known for a while now. Just like I know that I...
Look, I'm really sorry. I know we agreed from the start that we wouldn't catch feelings. I swear I've never had this happen before.
We saw this scene in the other route, I think, but I just wanted to watch it again anyway. She's a mess. She's a mess I'm in love with.
I get if you're upset, and I'm sorry for bringing this up now while we've still got this other shit going on. And when this is over, I can just leave, and I won't make a big deal about any of it, and we can just go back to living our own separate lives.
There, yeah, I noticed there were definitely some different lines. I thought we might be past it by now, but I also didn't want to skip the switching. Oh, get the nonsense bar out of the way. Where is it? Where are you? There you are. Nonsense bar. Long Snickers bar. Excuse me. I grab her cheeks and pull her face toward mine before she even realizes I've moved. I bring our lips together hard and kiss her in a way I never have before. I don't know how to describe it. I just know it's something new. We've kissed plenty of times, but this isn't like any of those. It isn't like any kiss I've ever had with anyone. It's healing. It's grounding. It's incredible. It only takes a second before she kisses back hard. She grabs me again, and I can feel her hands moving along the length of my body. It's like she's looking for handholds. I realize in the back of my mind that this is the first time we've had a kiss this deep without one of us putting their tongue in the other one's mouth. I'd laugh if I didn't have more important things to do with my mouth. We do have to stop for breath eventually. All we do is blow hot air into each other's faces for a split second before coming back together. This is too good to let it end so soon. One of us is crying. It better not be me. We break to gasp for air.
I love you too, obviously.
Tara plants smaller kisses on my bottom lip as I speak.
Yeah, I kinda figured.
Saying it out loud feels incredible. It's like dropping weights I've been carrying for miles. I can feel everything Evelyn took from me coming back in force.
I guess I really do have you after all.
With an air of finality, we break apart but remain close. Tara presses her forehead to mine and nuzzles my nose. Tara is blushing hard while looking at Morgan, determined.
I'm not going to let her hurt you. I promise.
I know.
We're gonna beat this thing, Morgan. We're gonna kick Evelyn's ass, and we're gonna save my best friend. And when we leave the shitty village behind for good, I want you to come with us.
Yeah, of course.
I'm still not able to match her level of confidence. I love her, but that doesn't magically guarantee things will be okay. I'll keep trying to get there, though.
So, what does this make us?
What do you mean?
Are we, like, dating? Or...
She rubs the back of her neck and smiles awkwardly.
I mean, it's been a while since I've done something like...
Oops, sorry. Accidental right click. I know what she's trying to say. We don't know what's around the corner yet.
I don't know. Not that it's anything against you, of course. I love you a lot. I don't doubt that for a second. But I don't know if I can put a name on that love right now. Not with everything else we're dealing with.
And here I always thought fighting an ancient evil monster would be the perfect setting for asking someone out.
She doesn't sound mad. That's a good sign. Tara grabs my hands earnestly.
But after all this, I want to take you on the best date ever.
I'd like that too.
I can't bring myself to tell her I'm not even sure if I'll make it that far. I already know she's about to kiss me, but I beat her there. My lips meet hers on the way up. Her squeak of surprise melts away as we hold each other. Thank you, Tara, for everything. Okay. I'm guessing Maddie's side of things won't be any different. Just because, Morgan is extra existential crisis in this one. Oh, there was a smooch. Oh, the deer. Do 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 do. Adrian Brody, Adrian Brody. This is probably also still the same. So it just stops when there's a chapter break. Oop. This slowed down, so it must be different.
Yeah, but what if it's not? I can't take that chance. I'm going in.
Tara, wait!
The door flies open so hard it bangs against the wall. Tara freezes in the doorway, probably not expecting me to be right here. Reminds me I wanted to draw a comic about the I lived bitch, you know. Or maybe even hear it all.
Hey.
Everything I had rehearsed and planned to say in my head is forgotten in an instant. Somehow, this feels more unreal than anything else so far. I never had time to doubt any of the stuff that's happened to me. I've had plenty of time to doubt that I'd see Tara again. Tara's mouth flaps up and down like a nutcracker statue. I don't think she forms a single coherent word. I can hit the skip button again. Okay. It was just having a moment. I mean, that scene is super cute, but... Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa! Calm down, Olive Boy. If only it could stay that way.
Hey, you okay?
Okay, now Morgan's having a moment.
Yeah, I'm okay. Sorry, just trying to wrap my head around all this.
I getcha. There's a lot to unpack. You can take your time with it. I guess that means now isn't really a good time to talk, huh?
What do you mean?
I wanted to talk to you about something, or ask you about something, I don't know. It can wait if you still want to work on getting your stuff sorted.
This conversation might
Is
go
something
differently?
wrong?
No, I mean, I don't think so. I've just been thinking about some stuff.
Like...
Tara takes a deep breath and scoots back on the bed. She curls her legs up towards herself, taking on a surprisingly subdued posture.
It's... well... You know how Abby's been calling us a couple all day? Even though we told her we're not?
Yeah, she's not very good at taking hints.
I'm not sure if that's it. I think she's just, like, direct. Kinda like you. Runs in the family, I guess. I know we agreed that we were going to stay friends, or whatever you'd call this, until this is all over. I get that. But after seeing the two of them, I'm not sure if I feel like that anymore. We've still got a lot of shit left to deal with. We still don't have a plan. But I think that's okay?
She shrugs half-heartedly and looks down. I want to give her a hug, but I can't move.
Abby put a name on this thing we have when we couldn't, and maybe she's wrong, but I don't want her to be. I really love you, Morgan. I don't want to deny that. I want to be closer than just friends that love each other.
Don't.
The word leaves my mouth before I have a chance to think about it.
What?
Please don't ask.
I'm sorry. I thought...
It's not that I don't want to. That's why I'm asking you not to say it. Because I know I'll say yes if you do.
She looks up at me, I can practically hear the cogs turning in her head.
Why don't you want to say yes?
People get hurt when they get close to me. I don't even like having friends because of how guilty I feel when Evelyn gets in the way. I'm already so close to you. Closer than I've ever been to anyone. But if I put a label on it, a part of me just feels like it would put you in more danger.
I feel so stupid saying it out loud. It's just a word. Why am I so afraid of a word?
Besides,
skip again in a
I've
minute.
never had a girlfriend before. I don't know what it could mean for me. Or for you.
I do remember this conversation, so... I know what I want, and I want it for myself, not anyone else. Even if I know that there's only one way that our fight with Evelyn is going to end. I can enjoy this while it lasts, while I'm still here. As short as that time might be. Baby girl. I hold Tara close in my arms. She's nestled close to me. The sun is long gone, but the moon is bright enough to illuminate her smile. I'm smiling too.
You're warm.
Tara laughs. It's soft and feminine, and it's a sound I've never heard her make except around me. It makes me feel special.
Yeah, but you're really hot.
I kiss her before she can say anything else.
Just take the praise.
I guess I can't argue with that.
We lapse into silence. All that needs saying has been said. I close my eyes and let myself relax. I think I might actually sleep well tonight. But as always, luck isn't on my side.
Hey,
What?
do you hear that?
I remember this and I don't like it. And now we're on to the last chapter. And I bet it's gonna go great. That's probably gonna go the same. Oh, we're back to Morgan. I swallow the lump in my throat. I have to say something. Oh, this is different. Does it matter? I'll save just in case. I promise I'll make it up to you. There's only one way I can keep them safe for good. I don't deserve my forgiveness. I can't let my... Yeah, I was gonna say, neither of these seem like they're gonna, like, fix anything. I might as well go with this one.
I promise I'll make it up to you. I'll make sure you get home safe.
I'm not going to let any of them get hurt again. I promise that to them and to myself. Maddie nods.
I trust you.
Thank you.
At this point, it might be more than I deserve. I'm grateful for her kindness. Their kindness? I turn and face the direction of the church. I've said my part. Now it's time to keep moving.
I'll see you at the ferry clearing, where all this will end.
The other two nod in agreement. Without looking back, Shilladora and I head for the church. This is hardly a plan. It's barely more than an idea. It relies far too much on luck and everything going our way. But it's all we have. Furious winds tell me that I'm in the right place, as if there were any doubt. This is probably starting to play out the same way? It kept skipping. Well, I'm glad I saved anyway. It was like, you get the idea.
I promise I'll make it
Rewind
up to
that tape.
I'll make sure you get home safe.
Does that mean I can skip and then stop skipping, right?
You're okay? You're...
I'm gonna... No, maybe we should just... Well... But... I don't want to do Fred's murdered scene again. I can just... manually zoop along. No, this is definitely still a thing. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Evelyn being rude. Everybody's dead. Everybody's not really dead. Yeah, I missed it even changing to Morgan. Oh, we're about to anyway, I think. Yes, okay. Our feet touch solid ground, and Tara immediately loses her balance. I grab her shoulder to keep her from falling. Philodora pants heavily, the magic having taken a heavy toll on her. Maddie, Abigail, and Evelyn are on the far side of the lake. Only Abigail seems to notice us. Even from a distance, the terror on her face is clear.
Come on, they need our help.
Tara takes one step forward and then falls to the ground, clutching her ankle.
Shit.
Just then, Maddie screams, in pain or in horror. A sick feeling in my stomach, all three of us turn to look, although there's nothing new to be seen. I know from experience that doesn't mean she isn't in pain. Abigail is tugging on her arm, but Maddie doesn't react at all. She must be beyond even feeling it. And just behind Evelyn, a familiar-looking ball of sinister light is forming, sparkling in the moonlight. Its tendrils jolt and jag with a familiar hunger. Maddie doesn't even know. Evelyn turns back and looks at us, a sadistic grin on her face. The tendrils of magic shift, and a feeling of impending doom fills my lungs. I look back at Tara, who scowls at her foot as she tries to move. There's no way she'll be able to. I don't have long to act. My thoughts feel like a fog, pressing against the horror before me and numbing me. For once, the numbness fills me with a sense of peace, and of purpose. Oh boy. I know what I have to do. I kneel down in front of Tara, taking her hands in mine. She looks up, curious, with a question on her lips, but I don't give her time to ask it.
Tara, thank you for everything. Really, I mean it. Everything.
For once, my being mad with words is a strength here. Confusion flashes across her face, but she doesn't interrupt. She searches my face as I continue speaking.
I love you. I really do. I'm sorry for everything that's happened. I hope that you'll be happy.
Wait, what do you...
But I'm already walking away.
I made a promise.
I can't even face her as I say it. I choke on the words, and my tears that I don't even try to fight. Geladora reaches a paw out towards me as I pass by, but I continue walking.
Thank you, Geladora, for everything as well. For the years you kept me company.
I turn and I face them both for one last time.
Goodbye.
And then I run towards Maddie and Evelyn. It would have been nice to leave. The prospect of a life with Tara, even if only a distant dream, was better than anything else Eisenfeld had to offer me. But it was always just that. It was always a dream. And it's time to wake up now. I'm not surprised that it's come to this. In my heart of hearts, I think I always knew that it would. There's no way I'm going to let her win this time, though. I force myself to ignore Tara's screams of protest behind me. I wish that there was another way, but there isn't. Somehow, I feel lighter and more free than I ever have as I race towards Evelyn. She bristles with moonlight energy, gorging herself nearly until she explodes. I just need to push her over that point. Abigail sees me coming and says something, but the words don't even register in my head. For just 1 second, I pause, only a few meters away from Evelyn, who looks surprised to see me. My last regret is that I don't have time to tell her how much I hate her. I hope she can see it in my eyes as I gather my strength for one last sprint, launching myself at her. Her eyes go wide as we crash into the waters of the lake together. The rest is silence. I see Morgan tackle Evelyn. Watch them hit the water together. I see it, but I can't stop it. I see the moonlight in the water both shimmer and shake, and water splash everywhere as the two of them thrash around. I see the splashing stop and go still again. I see Gelidora, the cat, stretch and sprawl as dark magic evaporates from her paw. I see her form emerge as the rightful fairy queen once more. I see all this happen, but I never see Morgan come back up out of the water again.
Babe? Morgan?
I'm yelling at the lake. I'm yelling at the place where she disappeared, but nothing's happening. I try to take a step forward, forget that my foot is screwed, and fall to my knees in the sand.
Shit!
I'm yelling at myself, at how fucking useless I was, like always.
Please, no!
I drag myself to the water's edge. I can see Maddie rushing over towards me, but I don't care. She's not the one who's important right now. I strain my eyes for any trace of her. Why hasn't she come back up yet? I mean, I know she can hold her breath for a long time, but this is pushing it, even for her.
Tara.
I'm sure that if I turned my head I could see Maddie, but I don't want to. I know Maddie's there. That isn't the problem. My fingertips scratch at the smooth surface of the lake. It washes away the sand grains under my fingernails. Sand grains. A little bit further and I can pull myself out to the lake. I'll find her. I'll bring her back.
Tara.
I can feel her hands slip under my arms as she pulls me to my feet. Like always, someone else is taking care of me.
Let me go, Mads! I need to help Morgan! She went in, but...
Tara!
I finally turn to look at her. She's crying.
Tara. She's gone.
I don't want to believe her. It can't be true. Not after all we went through.
You're wrong! She can't be gone! We were supposed to go home together! She was supposed to come back with us! She was supposed to...
All of the things that we were supposed to do come to mind at once, even as I try to push them away. I collapse into Maddie's arms, sobbing. She hugs me tightly. I can feel her own tears dripping down onto the back of my neck.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm happy for them. I really am. I think Mads has tried to hide it from me. I can hear the smiles and excitement in her voice. even when they don't show up on her face. And the way she looks at Abby, the way they hold hands, she's just really delicate in a way I've never seen her before. The change is obvious. I've got to be supportive, right? Any good friend would be. It's just... Our last few days in Eisenfeld feel like they're gone in an instant. I guess I'm also kinda zoned out during them. It's hard to describe, but none of it feels real. It's like I'm watching myself in one of my own videos. I can hear my voice, hear myself laugh and joke, but that's not me. I'll be sitting in the living room and look at a clock and it'll be midnight. I won't even remember doing anything else that day, and then I'll just go to sleep right there on the couch. I can't go back into that room. And it's like that for however long we have left. It's all hazy. I don't even remember packing. And then we're at the train station getting ready to board. Abby is pointing at everything and asking all kinds of questions. I don't think she's ever seen a train before. Mads is so patient with her. She even seems to enjoy explaining all this stuff. They're good together. Before we get on board, Mads grabs my arm and pulls me aside.
Hey, listen,
She says.
I just want you to know that...
I interrupt her. I'm okay, Mads, really. You don't have to worry. I flash her the old grin and finger guns. I've done it so many times on camera when I was sick or tired that I don't think even Maddie can see my heart isn't really in it this time. At least I hope not. She wraps her arms around me anyway.
I just want you to know that I'm here for you.
I can feel the tears want to come out. I'm not gonna let them. I wrench my eyelids shut and take a deep breath. That's all I've got. My pride. Mad steps back, hands on my shoulders. She smiles at me. Abby smiles at me. Both of them have this look of pity in their eyes that they don't even try to hide. That's the last thing I want.
Come on, let's get out of here.
Maddie says, and she leads me onto the train. Abby's a big bundle of giggles and excitement. You'd think it was already Christmas by how she's acting. Then again, it's probably better than Christmas for her.
I can't believe we're finally leaving. I never thought this day would come. I never even dreamed about it. And now, it's a little scary.
Abby says, her eyes shining. She's literally vibrating in her seat. It's scary for me to leave too. Just not in the same way. I realize I'm staring at her too late. Our eyes meet and I look away towards the window, but before I do, I see that look on her face again. Pity, mixed with guilt. She doesn't even say much after that, at least not that I can hear. She and Mads kinda just whisper to each other while I stare out the window, watching the forests and mountains pass by. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I was just starting to have all these plans. Things were starting to feel certain again, and now... There had to be some other way. There had to be... I'm not sure who to be angry at. I don't know who to blame. Hours pass. It's hard to tell. Abby falls asleep with her head on Maddie's shoulder, and Maddie just keeps shooting me these concerned glances every time she looks up from the book she's reading. She doesn't say anything, though. She probably doesn't know what to say. I sure as hell don't. I lay my head against the glass. It's cool, and the way my head bounces off it as the train goes along is kinda soothing. I wonder how this train ride would have gone if... Would I be the one with my head on Morgan's shoulder, sleeping like Abby is with Mads? I'm glad they're getting their happy ending. They deserve it. They really do. But what about what Morgan deserved? What about what I deserved? It doesn't feel fair. It doesn't feel right. But it does feel real. I wish it didn't feel so real. I sigh. They look so content, the two of them. A good friend would be happy for them. God, I wish I could be.
Whee! Oh, that one was rough. Right, I'm gonna step away for one quick second, and then we'll get the hopefully good ending. Sorry, I forgot there might be a, another scene. That's what I get for drinking 2 cups of tea. I mean, it was really good, the, reading of the monologue and stuff, but yeah, that was... Okay. Stepping foot in our apartment again elicits a strange mix of emotions. There's the relief of being home and the elation of having Abigail here with me. There's a lingering sorrow from one very notable absence. Morgan should be here too. Tara makes jokes, blows off personal inquiries, and avoids showing any sign of the intense pain she's feeling. I have to imagine she's furious with me too. Everything I say to her is met with hesitation before she responds. She hasn't looked me in the eye for days. She's told me she doesn't blame me, but how could she not? We all know that I could have changed this. When the time came to act, I froze, and Morgan paid for it. There's the thump-thump of scurrying paws from one of the bedrooms as BT hears the door. And both Tara and I smile as we watch the cat bolt down the hall towards us. I can't help but think of Geladora, and I'm sure Tara can't either. Still, Tara kneels down and BT leaps into her arms, nuzzling at her face as she tries to kiss his head. I missed you too, buddy. It's good to see you again. She places him back on the ground and he makes his way over to me, purring and winding between my legs. I let him show his affection for a minute before he stops and looks up at Abigail. He's normally not great around new people, and I told her to brace for the cold shoulder. Hopefully she's not too disappointed after spending so many years making friends with the forest animals. Oh, hello! You must be BT. Aren't you the cutest little thing? Abigail kneels down on the ground. Rather than hiss, he licks her face instead. It seems her affinity for animals wasn't left behind in the forest. Meanwhile, Tara drops her bags and passes us by. Hey, you guys have fun with the boy. I'm gonna head up to my room. I want to say something. I need to say something. But words fail me. There's nothing I can say or do that I haven't already. I watch her go, feeling like with each step, the gulf between us grows. I give Abigail the tour of the place. Show her our room, the kitchen, the living room. I explain each modern appliance and convenience, and she listens intently. I pause outside of Tara's closed bedroom door, wondering if I should knock. I don't. We return to the living room and settle down on the couch. Abigail's gaze sweeps over everything, and I know she's bursting with questions to ask, but she keeps them all inside for now. For now, it's just the two of us, finding solace in each other. She doesn't blame you, you know. I turn my head to face Abigail. Wait, can you read minds too? You didn't tell me about that one. I'm not the only one who's easy to read, Madison. We both know you did everything you could. Even if it takes time for her to process it, I'm sure she's as aware of that as I am deep down. I might not know her that well, but I know that she's a good person. You are too. Morgan gave her life so the three of us could survive. We should honor that gift. All of us. A thud behind us makes me jump as I whirl toward the stairs, half expecting Evelyn to jump out at us again. It's going to be a long time before I can shake that fear. But it's not her, of course. It's Tara back again. She reaches out for one of her suitcases, making faltering eye contact with us. I can tell she's still not sure how to feel. But the fact that she came back down here is a good sign, right? I wanted to reach out and offer some real help, but I know she has to do this at her own pace. Maybe if I just reach out a little. Hey, Abigail and I were going to maybe order some pizza for dinner. Do you want us to order some for you too? We can get Hawaiian. She looks at me like I'm speaking another language. The awkward silence makes me immediately regret my offer, but after a moment, she smiles. It's small, only on her face for a moment, but it's real. The first real one I've seen her since we left Eisenfeld. You hate it when I order Hawaiian. The last time I did, you talked about how it was unnatural for 10 minutes straight. Is that a no? The fleeting smile widens, and this time it stays there. At my side, Abigail smiles too. Tara sniffles, and for a moment it looks like she's going to cry. But with a small cough, she suppresses it. Instead, she gives me a small nod. There's no way I'm missing out on a chance to make you experience the joy of pineapple on pizza. You're on. Having said her piece, Tara turns and heads back upstairs with her bag. I can tell the distance between us is still going to take a long time to fully repair. But I know that as long as we're on the same team, we'll get through it. We've proven that time and time again. We all have our own share of fears for the future and regret toward the past. But we all have time to face them and to grow. Because that's the best way to honor Morgan's sacrifice. We're going to live our lives to the fullest, without regrets. And we're going to do it together. No, we're gonna go get the better ending. Okay. So. Probably back to that first choice again in chapter 3. I think let her mourn again. And we'll zoopy zoop to the next choice, I guess. The cats are also getting zoomies in the hallway, it sounds like. Whoa! Okay. Right, bad things. Obviously, I'm gonna say that we're, not gonna give up this time, obviously. Tried to break me for years, over and over again. I've never let her, and I'm not going to let her do it now. I don't care how powerful she is. I don't care what she did to Maddie. I care a little. She's going to pay, and Tara and I are going to make sure of it. We'll destroy her, once and for all. We'll leave this place behind for good, together. And nothing's going to stop us. Okay. With that, we smooch. We're fairies. Things bad. I think I will. I do want to get this soundtrack. I guess I could put it on my little holiday list or something. little tempted to just order it, but... Oh, really? I can... Should I go back? I can go back. I'll probably have to go back to 3, but that won't take that long. Okay. I'm gonna save it again just in case I have more shenanigans with skippying around.
Holy. Let's go upstairs. Hey, that's what I'm here for. Come on. You just sit here for a minute and relax, so
I thought you didn't.
That's where the or something comes in.
That's such a good line.
I guess.
Here we go. If the caffeine in this doesn't wake you up, then at least the taste will.
As long as it doesn't kill me.
No promises. So, what happened out there? Did she hurt you?
Not really.
Bullshit.
I'm sorry, Tara.
I want to look out for you.
It was... And after... She told me my real...
She probably doesn't know how her pulling weird shit in the...
The trees were...
I cut myself off. What am I doing? I already told myself I wasn't going to let this get to me. And here I am, already about to lose it. Yeah, this is a little different. Although this could have been... Oh, either way. I have to keep it together.
You're right. Sorry. I shouldn't have made such a big deal out of it.
Hey, that's not what I meant. I want to hear what you have to say.
She sits down next to me. The stinging in my eyes isn't going away, no matter how many times I try to blink it back.
You know I'm not the best at, like, saying stuff. Or knowing how to say stuff.
Isn't that your job?
Yeah, but do I ever look like I know what I'm doing?
She holds my hand as I chuckle.
You've got a point. But I'm okay, I promise. It was just some cheap scare tactic. I wouldn't let something like that beat me. Like you said, this is just a sign that we're on the right track. Just because everyone else before us failed, that doesn't mean that...
Morgan.
Huh?
You're crying.
What? No, I'm not.
Inch by inch, I reach up and touch my cheek. It's wet. I can't be crying. My eyes are still stinging. I've been holding it back.
It's okay. You can cry.
I told you, I'm not...
My voice cuts off as I let out a choked sob.
I'm not...
I can't hold it back any longer. I let go. Tears flow down my face for the first time in years. Each one burns my skin like a tiny painful reminder of how pathetic I'm being.
let it out. You know I've got you.
This part is still the same.
I'm sorry.
Hey, it's cool. I don't think anyone on Earth or anywhere else would say you don't deserve a minute to get it all out there.
If you say so.
For what it's worth, I think you stand a way better chance than any of the people that came before you. After all, you've got one thing they don't.
What's that?
Me, obviously.
My incredibly humble savior.
Hey, if I can't stay on brand even under the threat of death, I don't deserve to be popular.
I love that about you.
Thanks.
The
Yeah.
babies.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, can I say something? As much as I love to joke, I'm 100% serious about you having something that they didn't have. More than one thing, actually.
What are you talking about?
I mean, you're really brave. Like, the bravest person I've ever met. You're smart, too. A hell of a lot smarter than I am. You're
I keep skipping
all
out
the
my
things that I
GG.
act like I am. You're smart, you're brave, you're strong. You're not afraid to fight back against bullshit. You're beautiful, you're capable. You've been through a ton of bad shit all your life, and you're still fighting, even against things nobody else out there believes. I spend nearly every day of my life thinking about the strangest things in the world, and I still couldn't have imagined someone like you really existing.
Her blushing talk sprite is so cute.
And you're just really awesome and fun to be around, and being here with you is one of the best things that's ever happened to me, and I don't want this to end, and
It is worth it just to hear that
You're
again.
in love with me.
I'm in love with you!
This is also really good timing, this pause.
Look, I'm really sorry. I know we agreed from the start that we wouldn't catch feelings. I swear I've never had this happen before. I get if you're upset, and I'm sorry for bringing this up now while we've still got this other shit going on. And when this is over, I can just leave, and I won't make a big deal about any of it, and we can just go back to living our own separate lives.
I'm not gonna read all the narration again.
I love you too. Obviously.
Mostly because my voice is already going on
Yeah, I kinda figured.
Saying it out loud feels incredible. It's like dropping weights I've been carrying for miles. I can feel everything Evelyn took from me coming back and forth.
I guess I really do have you after all.
That line sounded a little different.
I'm not going to let her hurt you. I promise.
I know.
We're gonna beat this thing, Morgan. We're gonna kick Evelyn's ass, and we're gonna save my best friend. And when we leave the shitty village behind for good, I want you to come with us.
Yeah, of course.
I'm still not able to match her level of confidence. I love her, but that doesn't magically guarantee that things will be okay. I'll keep trying to get there, though.
So, what does this make us?
What do you mean?
Are we, like, dating? Or... I mean, it's been a while since I've done something like this, and this isn't exactly a normal dating scenario.
I don't know. Not that it's anything against you, of course. I love you a lot. I don't doubt that for a second. But I don't know if I can put a name on that love right now. Not with everything else we're dealing with.
And here I always thought fighting an ancient evil monster would be the perfect setting for asking someone out.
Maybe, if everything turns out okay, we could give it a shot. putting a name on it, I mean.
Oh. She cranes her neck up towards me and kisses my cheek.
Saving it for after we kick some ass, huh? I can dig it. So, what does that make us? For right now, I mean.
Can we just be people who love each other? Stay friends the way we are right now, but in love.
Yeah, I think I can do that. I do have one question, though.
Shoot.
Can we kiss more often now?
That works for me.
I already know she's about to kiss me, but I beat her there. My lips meet hers on the way up. Her squeak of surprise melts away as we hold each other. That was cute! Thank you for the heads up. I'm still afraid. I'm still uncertain. But this helps. She helps. Thank you, Tara, for everything. That was a much more positive tone than already doom what's the word that I want? Resigned to doom type Morgan. That's really cute. I don't remember that. It was probably the same. I just have a small brain. That line is still the same. Is this still the same? Apparently. Whoa, that is picking up. I'm gonna save again anyway. I guess the friendship scene was, or like the gangs all here scene was probably mostly the same. I chose the we'll make her pay option before, just never in combination with letting Tara grieve. So well, and now we're on the last chapter, so at some point presumably things will be different. Oh, that's a new one. You're right, I forget what I'm agreeing to. Oh, okay. Save Tara, take care of Evelyn, and then we'll all go home. Simple, right? I wish it were that simple. I hope it will be that simple, but it rarely is. I swallowed the lump in my throat. I have to say something. Okay, you're right is a new option. Oh, it's so cute. I took a screenshot. I don't know if it worked. I'm not alone anymore. We can do this together. That sounds like a good ending to me.
You're right. It's simple.
I take a deep breath, clear my head as best I can. I've been waiting my entire life for this. My entire bloodline has led me to this point. A chance to end all the pain I've endured, to save someone I love. To make sure the countless people who carried this burden before me will be avenged. And to make sure that no one else will get hurt. How it goes from here isn't just up to me. It's up to all of us. Around us, the wind quickens and grows in intensity. The bright full moon looms high over us. We get to see the Fairy Queen in full form, I wonder. One last time, I nod at Maddie and Abigail.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, Morgan! Get it, girl. This is hardly a plan. It's barely more than an idea. It relies far too much on luck and everything going our way. But it's all we have. I'm gonna click through this for now. Because this is still the same.
Morgan. I knew.
But last...
Of course I came. You're not taking Tara. You're not taking anyone else ever again.
And yet predictable. You have all pity.
Afraid
Soon I'll have
to-
taken the... You see, I've been Tara.
Oh,
You. So, you're here too. Fitting. I can tell. You're still no queen. No more. Tell me.
Who's the pretender now?
oh, I remember that. And I didn't like it. And I still don't like it.
You're
But
just as pitiful as she is. Or
I'm not
is it
sure
just human
if I
nature?
should skip. Just in case.
Morgan, are you all right?
I think so. What happened?
I'm afraid that I panicked and I sent the signal to Madison.
Still, thank you.
Of course.
Please.
She's alive.
Is she okay though?
I don't think she should experience any loss.
Tara! I can't hear you.
I said, I'm dumb as bricks, babe. It'll take more than head trauma to hurt me.
You're okay?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I
I wasn't. I knew you'd save me. Is there any way we can get to Mads? She might need our help.
I can take us there, but
What? Are you okay?
I'm fine.
We're ready.
Nervous. In a way I've
Yeah,
never
skip for a second. This is the part where it tried to skip way too far.
I knew it. What all your
Come on, they need our help.
Okay, here we go.
Shit.
I don't have long to act. I turn to run, to confront Evelyn myself. I don't know what else to do. Everything has gone wrong. All that matters to me is at this point is that Maddie and Tara get out of here. If I have to die for that to happen, then so be it. I hesitate, just slightly. My leg wavers as I try to take a step forward. It's enough for Tara to grab my arm, grimacing through the pain.
Where are you going?
To stop her.
Tara's grip tightens.
Not without me, you aren't.
Tara, you can't.
Neither can you. I'm not letting you throw yourself away. Not again.
Something soft paws at my leg, and I look down to see Shelladora staring up at me.
Both of you.
As sweet as they are, there isn't any time for sentimentality. Every second we spend talking is a second wasted.
Morgan, the moonlight.
I glance up at the sky, but don't notice anything different. The moon shines down on both Maddie and Evelyn, surely invigorating them both. However, it's obvious from the situation that Evelyn is better at using it.
What about it?
It makes magic stronger. With enough of it, and our magic, we can stop her.
Whose magic? Yours and Maddie's?
Her eyes glisten in the moonlight as she stares up at me.
No, Morgan. Mine and yours.
Are?
What?
I can't keep the exasperation out of my voice. We don't have time for her to mess around. Shelladora nimbly climbs up my legs and torso, my heavy sweater protecting me from the pain of her claws. She perches on my shoulder.
Love is its own form of magic. It makes the impossible possible.
Oh.
And I know you have plenty of that.
I turn to face Sarah, who's been listening to every word. Despite it all, she gives me an encouraging smile.
I don't know anything about magic, and I'm still figuring this love thing out. But I know I believe in you, Morgan. Go kick her ass!
I breathe in deeply. I could try to stop her myself. Even if I had to die for it, I would. What Shelladora says sounds crazy. And everything about this is crazy. And I don't want to die.
Okay.
I'm putting all of my trust in Shelladora. And in Tara. Just like I know they're putting their trust in me. I won't let them down. With one arm, I help keep Shelladora in place. And as fast as I can, I run, heading straight for Maddie and Evelyn.
Now do you understand? Everything that you've done still wasn't enough. Even cheating death itself. Now, join them.
Barely on the periphery of my awareness, I can see magical energy coalescing behind her. A spell that's intended to end my life. I need to react. I need to move out of the way or do something. But I can't. I'm frozen. I can't tear my gaze away from the sight of Morgan and Tara. I couldn't protect them either. I couldn't save them. Maybe I deserve this too. I wasted the second chance I was given. Another presence cuts through the haze of my mind, giving me a sudden spark of clarity.
Madison!
She must have been calling my name for a while.
Madison! It isn't real! You aren't alone!
Her words cut through my despair like a hero's sword. I lock eyes with her, and I welcome her into my own head. She's so vibrant, so present, that she forces out Evelyn. Everything that I was feeling just moments before, all of the fear and horror is swept away, and is replaced with only one thing: love. She helps make me myself again. Time itself has stopped, or rather, it doesn't exist here. Right now, we're the only two people in the universe. I'm aware that this is only a vision and not reality, yet somehow it's more than that. Perhaps it's a different kind of magic. We're surrounded by light. Stars flicker, watching us to see what will happen next. I witness both myself and Abigail, but it's not just the versions of ourselves that are here and now. Rather, it's our future together. The two of us, happily laughing, smiling, growing old. It takes me only an instant to understand. She's the one imagining it, sharing this with me, the same way that the fairies did. This isn't just a wish or a possibility. It's a promise. Both in my mind and in the real world, I take her hands. I don't worry about Evelyn, because in my heart, I know that we've already won. I look Abigail in the eye, and I say just 2 words.
I do.
I focus on the feeling of her hand against mine, and the knowledge that she's with me. I steady my breathing, and face back towards the scene that Evelyn's conjured. Only now do I notice the imperfections there. Morgan's sweater is the wrong color. Tara's hair clips are the wrong shape. Even the markings on Geladora's fur are different.
You liar!
I should have known. They were just more illusions. It's always illusions with her. Oh, and my mouth tracking is having a hard time today. Might just be dark. I almost fell for the same trick twice. But it won't happen again. Before my eyes, the fake images flicker and then dissipate, vanishing entirely. For the first time, Evelyn takes a step backwards, shaken by my resolve. The spell she had been charging collapses into nothingness. She shudders yet again, harder than before. She shakes so hard that it looks like she might fall apart. But she doesn't, and when she faces me again, there's still murder in her eyes. Evelyn takes a decisive step forward and outstretches her hand towards me. She opens her mouth, bearing rows and rows of teeth at me. I feel Abigail press into my sides, and the vision disappears. Just then, I spot Morgan running towards us, Geladora in her arms. The real Morgan with the real Geladora. As they approach, I feel Geladora's thoughts collide with my own. She sends me an apology for the signal, conveying in an instant everything that had happened. Then she sends me a request, along with 2 words. I'm ready.
Maddie! The lake!
Even Evelyn turns around to see what Morgan's talking about. Then, without warning, Morgan turns and dashes into the pond, with Geladora still in her arms, submerging them both in the water as they vanish from sight. Tara skids to a stop, watching the spot where they disappeared as the shimmering surface of the pond scatters moonlight. I understand. For what I hope is the last time, I draw up the magic that the fairies have entrusted me with. I coax it out of every nook and cranny of the forest. From the frozen ground under our feet to the highest reaches of the tallest trees, I implore the forest to help me. Within an instant, I can feel its response. From the fairies, hidden just out of sight. From the forest spirit, waiting forlornly in its grove. From Alma's mother, her child taken from her unfairly. From Morgan and Geladora, putting their fates in my hands. From the very moon itself. I move with the easy confidence of doing something that I know I was born to do. All of my short time as Fairy Queen has been building up to this moment. I step forward, bolstered with energy, and no longer afraid. I feel out the gaping hole where Evelyn's mind should be. The black, vile reminder of the existence she forsook, and the lies that she stole. I find her like a roach, skittering and afraid, and I bind her. I'm sure that it sears her like fire. She shudders and shivers and quakes in the moonlight. Moon sickness. After that, I let go. I release it all of the magic and power that was given to me. I let it flow out of my fingertips on its way back to its rightful owner. I can see the arc of the magic as it descends into the lake, where I know Gelidora is waiting for it. Then, as the last vestiges of it leave my body, the vision of it disappears, and the warmth of the moonlight vanishes, leaving me cold. The thousands of voices and consciousnesses go quiet, and then go still, leaving me all alone in my own head once more. My dress returns to its proper form as just a jacket, and the flowers wither and shrivel away into non-existence, not death. The crown on my head crumbles to dust, brushing past my ears before it's blown away. At the same time, Morgan resurfaces and swims to the shore, where Tara's waiting for her. The moonlight is endlessly refracted through the water, where it shimmers and sparkles. Beneath the surface I can see her. Let's fucking go! Gelidora crests back through the surface, her true form restored as she's accepted the mantle of Fairy Queen once again. Gelidora's true form as Fairy Queen is a beautiful woman garbed in an ornate white and blue dress with a snowflake adornment. Oh! Oh my gosh, I love it. A shiny dress the color of freshborn snow adorns her, glittering as brightly as the stars overhead. Water streams down her in little rivulets, some turning to ice or frost on the way. She's breathtaking. My dress was pretty, but it didn't suit me nearly the same way that role of Fairy Queen seems to suit her. Even Evelyn is speechless. Gelidora closes her eyes for just a moment. Her breathing slows almost imperceptibly, but just enough that I involuntarily step backwards. Her movements mirror the ones I performed just moments ago. Gelidora's stance is more experienced, more graceful, but I recognize it. She's calling upon the forest magic. Then she raises one hand high. The moon seems to glimmer at her fingertips. In one swift motion, she slices downward, moonlight trailing behind her. It pierces Evelyn like a spear, fatal and true. Her whole body convulses as her moon sickness wreaks its terrible havoc on her. Her flesh bubbles and rolls as it tries to escape the dying spirit within. It's a gruesome sight, and I look away, turning instead to Abigail. She holds me tightly. As I watch Gelidora approach the shore, I can hear the buzzing of the fairies, just out of sight, as they start to return to greet their queen. I don't even have to be connected to the forest to know that it's rejoicing. It's over. We've won. I stand there on the shore, hardly daring to move. I keep expecting Evelyn to reappear, more powerful and furious. Or worse, for all of this to be an illusion as well. But it isn't. Not a trace of Evelyn remains, neither body nor soul. Gelidora stands on the ground where she last was. The Fairy Queen's eyes are closed in mourning. Not over losing Evelyn, of course, but over losing the fairy she had once met. I look down at myself, in my regular clothes once more, in my flesh and blood body. I shiver a little in the breeze. It's a miraculous feeling. Then I turn and pull Abigail towards me, as we wrap our arms around each other in the biggest hug imaginable. Neither of us say anything. We don't have to. From the side of the lake, Morgan and Tara approach us. Tara is limping, leaning on Morgan for support. They both look a little bruised, but not too badly off. Abigail and I walk over to meet them.
You did it, huh? You really did it.
The gang!
Yeah, We did.
It's still sinking in.
Morgan, Tara, are both of you all right? Yes, I'm fine.
I'm good too. Messed up my ankle when we got here, but it's nothing too bad.
And your head.
Hey now, I already said not to worry about that one.
For better or worse, it really is impossible to face Tara. She could have died several times within the last half hour, but here she is, cracking jokes. I really admire that about her.
Are you sure you're all right, Morgan? You kind of just jumped into a lake.
And it was totally badass.
Yes, I'm positive. Thank you for worrying about me, though. That's what family's for.
Aww. The two of them exchange a smile. As they do, I look up to the sky once again, and for just a moment I close my eyes. In my head, I offer a word of thanks to the forest for its protection and for everything it did for me. A chilly breeze blows in response. A loud buzzing fills the air, and we watch the swarm of fairies as they rush towards us from the trees. I step back to stand beside my friends as the fairies arrive, joyously fluttering above Geladora's head. A bright smile illuminates her face as her people welcome her home. They don't speak, their need for human language now gone. They don't acknowledge me at all. I strain to try to spot Hey or Frio or Anna, but I can't. I'm sure they're there, amongst the rest of the hive, but they don't pay me any mind at all. Maybe that's for the best.
So this is like really cool.
She and Morgan are both watching, somewhat awestruck.
When we get home, Mads, you've gotta write an autobiography. Either that or the best fantasy novel ever. I'm sure you can make millions off the book deal.
I wrap my arm around Abigail.
I'm good. I've got everything I need right here.
Ah. Abigail grins, putting her arm around me in turn. Tara groans and makes an exaggerated gagging noise.
Okay, if you're gonna be that sappy all the time, then...
Morgan interrupts whatever the consequences will be by leaning forward and kissing Tara on the lips. That shuts her up fast.
Then we'll just have to outdo them, right?
For maybe the second or third time ever, Tara looks like she doesn't know what to say. But in a good way. As we all laugh, Geladora approaches us, the rest of the fairies forming a cloud over her head.
So, it's over. There's much to be done. The forest will need time to heal and recover. It will take years, but it will happen. Thank you, all of you. Mere words cannot express how grateful I am, how grateful the forest is. Especially to you, Morgan and Abigail. Your family has suffered so much over the years.
That's right. Geladora was there with Morgan throughout everything. She's the only one who can even come close to really understanding what Morgan's been through.
It's over now, though. Just like the forest, it'll take time to heal and recover. But we'll be okay.
I know you will.
Geladora faces away from me, looking out towards the forest at large, and towards the waiting cluster of fairies, her domain and her people.
What about the folks back in Eisenfeld? What'll happen to them?
I imagine they'll recover from the glamour rather quickly. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't even remember Evelyn's existence. There might be some difficulty as they figure out who will manage their affairs.
She turns back to us now, smiling. In particular, she looks at Morgan.
But I don't imagine any of you will be around to concern yourselves with that.
Right.
At the same time, Morgan and Tara reach for each other's hands. They smile at each other, meeting halfway.
And you, Abigail, are you looking forward to leaving?
Certainly. I've heard so much about the rest of the world from Madison and from Tara already that I can't wait to see it myself. Although, I'm a little nervous about, what were they called?
Airplanes.
Yes, those. I do hope they're safe.
She looks to me for support, and I put my arm around her.
It'll be fine. I promise.
She'll have a lot to get used to in the modern world, but it seems like she's just as excited to experience as I am to show it to her. Even Morgan will have some acclimating to do after spending her whole life with Eisenfeld's limited amenities. It's fine, though. As Morgan mentioned, we have so much time. The Fairy Queen smiles at us again.
I see. If you don't mind, I'd like to show you just one last bit of magic. Something long overdue.
The four of us look at each other, then nod in assent.
Lead the way.
Celadora takes us around the pond to the far side, right to the boundary of bare ground and covered snow. She kneels down, scraping together a mound in her hands, while the rest of the fairies watch from above in reverent silence, their usual keening muted for now. The ball of snow in Geladora's hands is shaped and smoothed out as she alternates between scraping and patting it. Soon, I realize the form it's taking, that of one of the fairies. Geladora then gathers several other materials from the forest debris. Pine needles, a soggy leaf, a couple tiny pebbles, and even more objects that I can't see. She arranges the pebbles on her snow sculpture to form a face. Then she deftly weaves together a few sodden pine needles and ties them around the back of the head. I realize that they're supposed to be glasses, or at least an imitation of them.
Madison, it's you!
As Geladora wraps the leaf around the snow fairy, I realize that Abigail's right. It's not an exact replica, of course, but it's definitely supposed to be me. Once it's complete, Geladora lifts the tiny model from the ground, holding it in her cupped hands like a treasure. For a second, I think she's going to hand it to me, but she walks right past and heads to the shore of the pond. With her back to us, she lifts her arms, holding the tiny sculpture aloft. The moonlight shines down on her, illuminating the snow in her hands. The air around them starts to glimmer and sparkle, the light of the moon refracting off of nothing. Geladora's whole body glows with a soft white aura that's brightest in her hands. Then, the little fairy in her hands flutters to life and flies in the air. After just 2 beats of its fragile wings, it turns and joins the rest of the swarm, where it's immediately accepted into the fold. The Fairy Queen turns back to face us, the sparkling magic now calm once more.
A tribute in your honor. This was the first birth of our people in over a century, ever since I was first bound. Through this little one, your memory will live on in these woods.
Thank you. It's an honor, really.
It's a bit strange to me that she'd choose me as the model, rather than Morgan, who she knows much better, or Abigail, who's far more intimately connected with the forest. After all, it's not like I did a whole lot as Fairy Queen. Still, the gesture is touching. I watch the little fairy for as long as I can, until it's assimilated into the rest and impossible to keep track of. Tara's positively green with envy.
Before you leave tomorrow, will you come join me for a final time? We have one last farewell to make.
She looks at Abigail as she says it. Abigail's eyes widen, and then she nods.
You've got a late train, so it's easy to do.
You already got us tickets home?
Hell yeah! One of us has to be on top of things around here.
She smirks, and I playfully smack her shoulder. Going home. Just the thought of it is exciting. The prospect of returning to our normal lives without having to fight for them. By now, it feels kind of like a dream. But for once, one that I know will come true. Once again, I wake up before Abigail does. Bed isn't even close to big enough for both of us, but it didn't stop us from getting a full night's sleep. She lays nestled against my side, breathing peacefully, while I contemplate the sunlight streaming in. No matter where Tara and I travel to, I'm always looking forward to going home. That's especially true now. It feels weird to imagine that this time tomorrow, I'll be on a plane over the sea. We still have a long day ahead of us, though. Our train doesn't depart until the afternoon, and then it's hours to the city. At least it'll be much more cheerful than my trip out here, when it was just Tara and me. For as long as I can, I just remain in bed, huddling close with Abigail. It's so nice to just turn off my brain and relax. No deadlines, no threats, no flickering in and out of existence. Peace. It isn't too long before her eyes flutter and drift open. She yawns, cuddling even closer to me. Without moving the rest of my body, I turn my head to face her, and our noses brush together.
Good morning.
Good morning, Madison.
How'd you sleep?
It was the best sleep I've had in 200 years.
She smirks, and I laugh too. I love that face.
That joke never gets old. Fitting.
Abigail moves in even closer, draping herself across my arm and shoulder like a cat. Her hair falls against my face, and I blow it away with a playful puff of air.
What about you?
Better than I have in months.
It's true. We both passed out pretty quickly after getting back to the cabin last night. Even the excitement of the day's events couldn't keep us up.
Will our bed in America be this comfortable?
Oh, it's even better. Although BT, our cat, really likes to sleep up there. So you might have to fight him for the spot.
BT will have to find somewhere new to sleep because I don't want to share you.
She shoos away an imaginary cat with one hand. I love her.
Maybe he'll like Morgan. She's gotta be used to having cats around by now. Gilladura counts. Technically?
Joey Dorito.
Our home will be so lively, won't it?
Absolutely.
I can't wait.
Me either.
The sounds and smells of Morgan and Tara preparing breakfast wafting through the bedroom eventually stirs us back into gear. I pack what little clothes I brought while Abigail gets dressed.
Good morning.
Meowdy meow.
Please don't ever say that again. But, good morning.
Hello. What are we eating today?
Wow, you don't waste any time, huh?
I've wasted a lot of time not eating, and I intend to fully make up for it. You're in luck. I brought over all the food I had at home, so there's plenty.
She sets a platter of pastries on the table. Abigail immediately dual wields a blueberry muffin and an everything bagel.
Wait, you already went all the way to town and back and then made breakfast?
Yes.
Isn't she amazing?
Morgan blushes. That might be the first time I've witnessed that. Crumbs litter the table, the aftermath of Abigail's enthusiastic eating. I've never met someone so delighted just to be eating food.
Have as much as you'd like. I'll bring the rest with us on the train.
I'm not sure we're gonna have to worry about leftovers.
Abigail grins in agreement. After we finish, I help take all the dishes back into the kitchen and set them by the sink. Morgan starts washing them right away.
I'm not sure who I'm washing these for, but it feels wrong to just leave them dirty.
What'll happen to this place once we're gone?
She shrugs.
I'll leave the key in my shop. I don't really care beyond that. It's nice to not have to.
She wipes the plates dry with a towel, and then we go back into the living room. The rest of the cabin is already immaculate. The blankets are folded, the furniture is realigned. Everything is in its place. I'd even say it's tidier than the day we arrived. I give my bedroom a final once-over, looking for anything I may have left behind. Of course, there isn't anything. I shut the door behind me. The action has a sense of finality to it. Everyone else is waiting for me in the living room.
So we're going out into the woods one last time, right?
Yes. I need to say goodbye to a friend.
Whoa, you know someone else in the forest? Is it Elvis?
You're never gonna let that go, are you?
Who's Elvis?
Don't worry about it. Tara's just being dumb.
Aren't I always?
You got me there. Anyway, you'll see when we arrive.
I don't want to spoil the surprise. Plus, I want Abigail to be able to share a peaceful farewell. Especially remembering what she told me before about the Fairy Queen and the Forest Spirit. We head outside and into the forest. For the first time since we got to Eisenfeld, it's not that cold out. In fact, it's even a bit warm. I wonder if that's coincidence, or if it also has something to do with Evelyn being gone. Neither would surprise me. We haven't gone very far when Gelidora suddenly appears, popping into sight just a few feet away. Her arrival is silent, no smoke or sound or anything like that. Just 1 second it's empty, and the next she's there.
Good morning.
Morgan and Tara both flinch at her sudden arrival, but Abigail and I are unaffected.
I've been waiting for you. I could feel the 4 of you into the forest.
That's awesome! So your fairy sense started tingling?
Gelidora tilts her head, perplexed. Tara really needs to learn her audience out here.
Anyway, if you're prepared, I'll take you all the rest of the way. It would take far too long to walk.
The 5 of us join hands, Gelidora standing between Morgan and me. Her hands are cold, but not unpleasantly so. In the time that it takes for me to blink, we're teleported to the grove of ancestral trees. Even without being one with the forest, the magic in this place is palpable. It soaks into the earth and trees, and the air is sweet. We approach the ancestral grove with careful, quiet steps. The destruction that Evelyn caused is more prevalent here. Streaks of ash still blemish the surrounding trees, painful reminders of the one she slew. Just ahead, I can see the clearing where I know the forest spirit will be. Gelidora steps aside, gesturing for Abigail and I to continue on. We do. When the spirit comes into view, I can hear Tara gasp from behind me. The spirit looks even weaker than the last time I saw it. If previously it looked old, now it looks downright ancient. Its once terrifying eyes have lost their luster. Its wooden body is even more knotted and warped than before. And it's so small.
Is this your friend?
Without turning around, Abigail nods.
For all these years we've been together. It was the forest spirit who saved my soul when Evelyn came for my body.
Abigail reaches out a hand, going to the forest spirit's side. Like every time before, I also keep my distance.
Abigail.
I know. It's time, isn't it?
Gelidora nods. The forest spirit peers down at the girl by its side. I'm sure that it loves her back. Abigail takes a single step backwards, and Gelidora moves to her side. Then the Fairy Queen raises a palm and presses it against the forest spirit. The sensation of magic gathering is familiar to me by now, even though this time it's flowing past me, not into me. Gelidora calls life from the surrounding trees, here where life is more vibrant. The ground ripples under our feet, surging with unseen power. The sunlight beaming onto us feels warmer. Everything is gloriously, happily alive. The forest spirit's twisted form starts to change and morph. Not in a painful way, like how Evelyn died, but much more peaceful. Jagged shards of wood soften and retract. Its 2 legs start to stitch themselves together into one solid trunk. Its arms stiffen, reaching outward and upwards, slowly regaining the colossal height that it once possessed. Roots appear and bury themselves underground, as the forest floor itself rises a little to accommodate. I remember now that Abigail mentioned before that one of the Fairy Queen's duties was to help the forest spirit pass on. And with Shelladora missing for so long, it was impossible. I wonder how many decades or centuries this one had existed before meeting Abigail. No wonder all of the trees have such vibrance. No wonder this is the center of life in this forest. Just like the process that made me Fairy Queen, there's little pomp and flair to the transformation, but instead it feels intimate and calm. When Shelladora retracts her hand and the magic dissipates once more, everything is still and silent. Abigail says goodbye to the forest spirit, which has turned into a tree. Abigail kneels on the ground before it, with the spirit's eye being the only recognizable part of it. Abigail falls to her knees at the base of the newborn tree. The spirit's great eye slowly slides down the trunk, a final magical motion, until it's level with her face. Despite the tears in her eyes, Abigail manages a smile.
Hello, old friend. Thank you for everything you've given me. Not just company, but another chance at life itself. I'll miss you. I really will. More than I'll miss anything else here. I'm sorry I wasn't around much lately, but I hope you know that I was very happy. Even when it was just us. Even when there was no one else.
She reaches out, touching her hand to the tree just like the Fairy Queen did. Except it isn't a regal, powerful touch. It's delicate and soft. She presses her forehead against the tender bark, not bothering to wipe away the tears.
And I hope you know that I'll be even happier now. You don't have to worry about me. I'll be okay.
Abigail remains there for a long moment. The forest spirit's eye watches her, as best as it can, for as long as it can. Slowly it goes dim. The red light fades to gray, and then to the same plain brown as the rest of the tree. Within moments, it's indistinguishable from the rest of the forest. Abigail looks back up and notices the change. She brushes her hand across the sightless eye, and then she rises to face Shelladora.
Thank you.
I'm sure you made its life that much more wonderful as well.
I hope so. Tara, do we still have time before we have to board our train?
Couple hours, yeah.
If it's no trouble, I'd like to return to the Fairy Grove one final time.
I'd be happy to take you.
Tara and Morgan nod in approval. They've both been keeping pretty quiet, although that's only unusual for Tara, sorry. Still, I'm glad that she's being considerate of the solemn mood. Once more, Shelladora takes our hands and transports us to the fairy clearing. There's no evidence here of what took place last night. While there aren't any deer this time, a few birds are in their nests. All's right in the grove. It's a little strange to not instantly feel the presence of the fairies in my head. I'm sure they're close by, but like usual, they keep their distance. As soon as we regain our balance, Abigail wordlessly starts to head for the shore. Tara taps me on the shoulder.
Hey, me and Morgan are gonna take a walk. Give you two a couple minutes.
Sure. Thanks.
The two of them set off at a leisurely pace around the water. Shelladora goes with them. She and Morgan will surely want to say goodbye as well. Abigail's already down by the water, and I move to join her. Her hand grasps mine and she squeezes tightly. She breathes in deeply. I do the same. The air is crisp but refreshing. This place has been so special to both of us that I'm a little bit sad to leave it behind as well. I know that's nothing compared to how Abigail must feel. I don't speak. I'm sure that in her heart, Abigail's saying her final goodbyes to this place. I'll let her be the first to speak. We stand there in comfortable silence for a while, hand in hand.
I said before that I had come to love the forest as much as I possibly could. But now, when we're about to leave, I realize that I was wrong. Because I love it more now than I ever have before. It isn't that I want to stay, but rather that I never had the opportunity to miss it. And now, on the eve of my departure, I'm sure that I will. I think there's a certain kind of love that comes from having something, but there's a different kind of love that can only come from losing it.
To my surprise, she isn't crying. In the past, when we've talked like this, it's been accompanied by tears, both joyful and sad. But now, when I look over at Abigail, she looks determined. Determined to be happy.
Just because you leave something behind doesn't mean you've lost it. It just means that you have to learn to love it in a different way.
Well.
When you look back on something and it makes you smile, that counts too. Love isn't just about moving forward. Sometimes it's about looking back. This place will always be special to you. And to me. In different ways.
What if I forget? What if someday I can't look back and remember what it looks like? What if I can't remember how it felt the first time we kissed? What if I forget how happy I am right now?
Even if you forget, you'll still carry it with you. It's still a part of who you are. It made you the person you are today. The memories aren't what's important. What's important is how they help you grow.
We go quiet again after that. I surprised even myself with those words. When I look back, 5 or 10 or even 50 years from now, I wonder how I'll feel about this time in my life. Not just the forest and all of the magical things that have happened, but everything that led up to it. Working on Terra Normal and all that we accomplished there. All the dreams that I put aside for it, but also the new ones that it instilled in me. I still have a lot to figure out and feelings to sort through, but now the future doesn't seem too ominous and scary. In fact, I'm looking forward to it. From behind us, I can hear the sounds of Morgan and Tara approaching once more from their walk. I squeeze Abigail's hand and she starts to lead me back toward our friends.
Come on, let's go home.
All aboard! The train conductor yells out his iconic line, and there's a loud hiss as the train begins to move. It feels like something out of an old-timey film, but I suppose that's more than appropriate for how our journey has gone so far. Beside me, Abigail sits with a white-knuckle grip on the seats, alternating between staring out the window and making sure the ground is still beneath her. Across from me, Tara and Morgan sprawl across each other, all pretenses of not a couple abandoned. As for me, I drink it all in, with a smile on my face. Every one of us deserves this. We pull out of the station, and I gaze out the window alongside Abigail. On the way in, I remember how scary and foreboding the forest looked, and how it felt like entering another world. Now, on the way out, I certainly won't miss it, but I'm not afraid anymore. I wonder if Galadora is watching us, somewhere out there.
Hey, Mads.
Of course Tara's the one to break the silence.
How proud do you think my folks will be that I finally got around to adding forged government documents to my criminal record?
I just have to laugh. I can't even be mad at her for this one, because there's no way we're getting Abigail into the country otherwise. I'm not sure how she did it. Maybe that's a brand of magic of her own.
What will be the first thing we do when we get back?
Asks Abigail.
Oh, you know we're gonna party!
From where her head rests on Morgan's lap, Tara still manages to strike a pose.
We've got New Year's coming up. Plus, Maddie's birthday is the day before.
Both Abigail and Morgan's eyes widen. I try to brush it off. Every year, Tara swears we're going to go all out for my birthday. Every year she takes like 2 drinks and passes out, or falls out of her bar stool, whichever comes first.
Morgan, Abby, both of you drink, right?
I do. It's been quite a long time since I have, of course, but I'm certainly partial to it.
You both know what that means then, right?
Tara's question is met with 3 blank stares.
Drinking contest!
Oh god, Tara. Not again.
Come on, you're okay with Morgan and Abby watching you drunkenly sing MCR, right?
No, I'm not okay. While Tara launches into an extremely exaggerated version of my last birthday party for Morgan and Abigail's benefits, I find myself looking out the window, watching the world go by once again. There's so much that I'm looking forward to when we get home. Teaching Abigail about the world, going back to school. I'll also do my best to help Morgan take over the duties on the show. Maybe I'll even come back to guest star in an episode or 2. For so long, I wanted the world to slow down, just a little bit, so I could catch up, figure things out, figure myself out. If there's one thing that being dead and hearing Abigail's stories taught me, it's that I don't want to look back later with regret. Just like I told her at the lake, we have a lot of good memories left to create. I intend to savor every minute of them. I listen to the conversation, laughing along even while I daydream about the future. My heart is happy here, even if my head's in the clouds right now. Abigail leans into my side, giggling at some joke whose punchline I missed, but I smile all the same. She'll make an optimist out of me yet. If there's one thing that we have now, it's time. And as for everything else, well, I'm sure the world won't mind if I keep it waiting just a bit longer.
Mwah. Stop. That was so good. I gotta get this soundtrack. I love In Love with a Ghost. All of the voice actors were really good. Oh, there's the chapter card artist. I was wondering about that. I'll have to look back at it later. Amanda Haley! Oh my gosh. I wasn't expecting to see her name. She's a fellow translator. Right up there. No cryptids were harmed in the making of this game. Wow.
Madison, look! There it is!
Oh, there is a scene. Abigail reaches out the open window to point at the ocean, sparkling in the summer sun. My heart pounds as I hear the pure joy in her voice. The instant the train pulls to a complete stop, she and Tara bolt for the door. Morgan grins at me and starts to follow them. I'm right behind her. Beach episode. Alright, gang, this is it! All four girls head to the beach for a day of fun in the sun. Tara is leaping for joy while wearing a Terra Normal t-shirt, complete with UFO and rainbow. Maddie and Abigail are both in light beachwear. Morgan has cut her hair short and watches them with a smile.
Smell that air. Feel that ocean
Need
breeze.
to see Morgan's haircut.
Look at those crashing
There we go.
waves. I told you this place was awesome.
Tara's long hair is so cute, though. Ah, there it is. She looks back at us to make sure we're all as overjoyed as she is. With all her excitement, you'd think she was the one who had never seen a beach before.
This is...
Her voice trails off as her head swivels around, still trying to take it all in. I silently step up behind her and take her hand. She doesn't look at me, but the small squeeze she gives my hand is all I need to know she appreciates it.
Pretty incredible, huh?
She closes her eyes and tilts her head up toward the sun, taking in the summer glow.
It's better than I ever dared to imagine.
For a moment, I'm reminded of the glow that surrounded her the first time we read together. Was that the first time my heart stopped when I looked at her? It's happened so often that I've lost count. By now, I've known her as a human for longer than I knew her as a ghost. But she's still got that same otherworldly beauty that she had back then.
Thank you, Madison.
Abigail looks back to me and smiles.
For everything.
I know the kiss is coming before Abigail even starts to move, and I'm more than ready for it. I wrap my arms around her and let her lips press against mine, our bodies perfectly pressed together.
You were worth the wait.
We touch our foreheads together, fingers intertwined. There's no need to say anything else. For once, Tara waits for us to finish before interjecting, but the instant we separate, she's back to her boisterous self.
Are you guys coming or what?
Morgan puts her arm around Tara's shoulders as she waves us on. Not missing a beat, Tara pushes her long hair to the side so Morgan can kiss her cheek.
Come on, I'll race you there.
You're on.
Those two turned out to have a surprising amount in common. Whatever store of energy they both draw from, it seems to be infinite. Morgan and I go at a much more similar pace, although even she's more enthusiastic about going out along with Tara's craziness. Love does that, I guess.
You go ahead, babe. I'll catch up.
Me too. My swimsuit definitely isn't built for sprinting.
Abigail gives me a nod and another quick peck. Tara tries to do the same, but Morgan pulls her in for a full-on kiss. When she pulls away, Tara looks completely stunned.
Better hurry, Abigail. Don't waste the head start.
That's the first time I've ever seen a kiss used to give someone a tactical advantage. I can respect that. Abigail takes off running while Tara blinks away her daze before dashing after her.
No fair!
Yes, it is! You have longer legs than me!
Morgan and I are left in the dust, both chuckling at our overzealous partners. I doubt either of us expected someone so energetic to be such a perfect fit.
We should probably go after them.
Lead the way.
We both take off behind our girlfriends, entering the water and rushing to their arms. I can barely feel the cold of the water as Abigail's warmth envelops me.
And here I thought you were going to keep me waiting again.
We lean in for a kiss at the same time, our lips pressing together in a deep, warm union.
Don't you worry, Abigail. I'll always be right behind you.
The smile she gives me puts the sunlight to shame.
I know, Madison. I know.
Oh, I got the achievement from the beginning, too. Oh. I think that was all of them. Oh my goodness. That game was so good. I am so sleepy now. It's past my melon bedtime, but it was worth staying up. Thank you all so much for coming along on this journey. Thank you to Finny for all of the cool, you know, behind the scenes stories and also help with the endings. And for your amazing work as Tara. You're incredible. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. Man, I really want to make a visual novel myself someday. But I think next week we'll try and play the little, spin-off game. Mostly because I need to see more of, Morgan's short hair. Let me see here. We should probably raid someone, but I am immediately going to sleep after this. But I had a great time. Oh, it's so nice to finally finish a game. Okay. I don't know what that... No. Get out of here. Don't tell me a Twitch thing. I don't need to know about the Twitch thing. Holy... Good gracious. Everybody awake? Is this the time that everybody's up? I see. Sorry about that. I was just trying to check if, this person is still going. This would seem like a more appropriate, follow-up. Excuse me. $10. Well, it's a 12-hour marathon for charity. So, we're gonna raid the sloth. And I'm gonna go to sleep. And I'll hopefully maybe see some of y'all tomorrow for a work stream. I'm gonna try out Palma Farm. Thank you again. And I hope you all enjoyed this game as much as I did. Have a great night. Oats Melon!